everyone. This is Charles, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm here with,
Shop Goddess Toy Marie.
and we are live at the ZoFine Music Festival. Yeah.
We're on IG, ZoFine Festival.
Thanks everyone for watching this music festival. We appreciate for watching this podcast. We appreciate everybody. Hey everyone, this is Charles, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. And I am excited because we've been here all day at the ZoFine Music Festival. Their theme is on mental health. And I hope you're doing good and you're taking care of yourself and you're doing some self-care. We're excited because I've been here with my co-host, Toy Marie, and we've been interviewing the creators, the artists, the performers, those who are a part of this great festival on year five. And our next guest, this lady to my left, she is one of the original founders to help to put this thing together. And she's going to introduce herself, share a little about her creative journey and how she's connected with this festival and the living room. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Precious.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me, first of all. Like, honestly, just thank you for you guys for being here. For me, just being year five, seeing the people that are here, the artists that have come out, the community that have come out, I'm just still kind of in a place of like shock and awe. So please forgive me if this interview seems to be like, oh, well, she's not very interesting. Guys, this is like a mind-blowing experience for me, honestly, because yes, I've been a part of it since year one, which was 5 years ago. And in the background, if you do hear that vocalist, that is a vocalist by the name of Batty Brooks. And Batty is one of the babies of the bunch because of what, of the work that we've done over the last 5 years. So nice to see just expansion and growth. And just it's not the first year that we it started in Easter Market. It's a group of artists. Yeah, it started in Easter Market. The group of artists that the original co-founders is Mirage Virtuoso and Kevin Christian, because Kevin Christian was a resident artist in Easter Market, and Mirage and he are very, very close. We're all lifelong friends, basically. Kevin Christian and I went to high school together, and Kevin Christian also is the co-founder of the Living Room. So he's partnered with Chevy, and that's with two V's. And that's the way he introduces himself. And they're the co-founders of the Living Room, which is interesting because that was founded by way of Easter Market. So yeah, so yeah, so it's funny. Like I said, 5 years is just a kind of a huge circle moment, and I could not be more proud just to be here, just to be a part of the journey. It's been in different capacities over the years, but overall, it's always been, what I contribute is more the media side of things, actually, in the past. I'm also glad to see you guys here because I've recorded over the years. I've done lives over the years. I've done promotion, marketing, advertising, all that stuff. This year specifically, I was focused on really just program direction and impact and outreach. I really wanted to focus on that part this year because really just being a part of it for this journey, I've watched it be so powerful every single year. You know what I mean? So powerful everything from inception. So what we really, really have always just focused on since then, and not only the mental health of it all, because that's why it was started, is making sure that that's at the forefront, but also making sure that it's connecting with our community. That's the most important thing for us. At least it is for me. I know that. So that's Precious. That's who Precious is for ZoFine. ZoFine originally, I don't know if has anybody told y'all the original story of ZoFine?
We want the whole story.
Really? Okay, so like I said, it started because this group of musicians were working on some original music, and Mirage Virtuoso was approaching her 29th birthday. And she's a fellow Aquarian. We're only 5 days apart. We're born literally 5 days apart. Mm-hmm. So like she, so yeah, we're super like in our heads about everything, especially our birthday. And our birthdays are very important to us because they're transitions, right? They're gateways. My birthday is February 4th. Mm-hmm. And the 8th, and Mirage's is the 9th. Yeah, so that's lovely. We're all kindred spirits, I promise. And I promise we probably think just as wonky or quirky as the next, whatever word people want to use. But Mirage is most certainly a visionary, and it definitely shows in her musicianship. Excuse me. In that year, I don't know if anybody can relate, but if you approach your 29th year or your 30th, it's an experience. So you kind of feel it coming. So if you ain't got it there yet, don't say nobody ever warned you, because I warned you. So part of her experience was kind of wanting to get a little bit more deeper into understanding mental health, right? She wanted to learn more about herself. And of course, as a musician, as an artist, a lot of times you deal with that in your work, right? In your music. And with Kevin Christian being her music partner, and they've always been music partners since inception, they've been making music together since day one. So he's like working with her. He's been producing music with her. He's a piano player and all these things. And she's like, I really want to do something special. I really want to commemorate that transition and really just that commitment to self, just that honest, being truthful, showing up to the world, and only after having shown up to yourself, right? And that's what she did. That's what 29 feels like. I don't know if y'all know. So if you're 28 and under, so all of that being said, so she's working on new music and she comes up with this concept, right? They really want to put on this show, and she's got this great idea, and of course everybody around her is like, you not only should do it, but you should like think bigger. Like you should do this on a grand scale. Like everyone should have access to this. And of course, when you're starting out, you don't necessarily know how to do it. So she's like, okay, well, this is going to be the ZoFine Festival, right? And again, it's still idea and conception while you're talking about it. And so her creative self went to design the logo. And the logo, some of y'all didn't get taught this, is in cursive. She designed the logo in cursive. So she brings it to the collective and she's like, what do you guys think? And it's beautiful. Of course, it's beautiful, but it reads 25, but it looks like ZoFine because cursive Q looks like a 2. Yeah. So it was just funny. So we were I guess it just kind of started out as a joke, really. It's like ZoFine. It's just like, because it was 29. That's what it was. It's 29. It morphed. It's like it just became ZoFine. And one day we all just was like, it's ZoFine. We never not called it anything else, and it became that. So yeah, that's it. It's a funny story to me. Does anybody tell you the story about why it's called ZoFine? And then of course we all every year we feel like we come up with a new reason why it makes sense. So it just stuck.
And I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. If I didn't introduce myself formally, and so one, I want to thank you for having us here at this amazing event. We had no clue it was like this whole community thing going on here, and it's something so wonderful and amazing that's happening here tonight. And we just feel so elated. And so it is focused on mental health awareness and suicide. And so, how do you tie into that? Like, have you ever struggled with something that had to do with your mental health, and you had it brought out, or you had someone help you through it?
So for me personally, I'm an artist as well, obviously, but I am more visual, right? When I was a kid, again, I'm Aquarius, so I tried everything. I was in a band. I learned the clarinet. Like I was a theater head. I actually was a writer. I didn't know it. It was my teacher who was not teaching theater, but was teaching else, told me how I could apply my writings. She saw my writings, and she was like, "You're writing plays. You're writing scripts." I was like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? So, like, basically just all of that from the childhood. And that's how I got really heavy into theater. My mama took me out of school and put me into a performing arts school because I was bored. I was getting all A's, but all threes. And so my mom knew, you're just bored. You know, you're not being challenged. And I really clung onto the self-expression that artistry gave. I guess performing arts for me because of what I had access to as a kid. So I started there in theater. Dance was huge for me. I was a dancer for 14 years. And then it wasn't until yeah, that's what I'm saying. True Aquarian, baby. I promise you. So it's like I'm an all-around artist. That's why it's really strange for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm a visual artist. Like I do a lot, but professionally, Precious Media LLC is the company that I started actually in undergrad when I was in Michigan State. And I started that because I was studying how to produce cinema, television, and radio. So that's what I do professionally. That's why Precious Media exists. I'm a broadcast professional. I'm a creative producer. I'm also, honestly, for 10 plus years, an artist developer. And as of last right? Because that makes sense. In the beginning, I didn't know I was. People was telling me, you do this. And I was like, but, right, exactly. And I'm like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. Right? No, I'm not. I'm just doing what I do. Exactly. But that's what I was doing. It literally took natural. You see what I'm saying? Now, back to answering your question. It took me to actually, like, literally be serious about getting in touch with me. Like, all these labels, and I'm Aquarius, I don't like labels. So I'm like, what does this mean? And so I really had to be like, well, who am I? You know, everybody wants to put me in this box. That's what it felt like. Everybody want to put me, they want to figure out, they want to put a finger on me, right? And I'm like, I don't think that can be done. I just don't. And because of that, when I went inside, I found a lot, obviously, right? I found a lot. And I found a reason as to why I was exploring so many of those disciplines and so many of those artistries, and why I love one for this reason and that one for this reason. Like, I started to really discover me. And then I gotta be honestly, that's when I started to actually fall in love with me. That was much later in life. Like, I thought I loved me, right? You're gonna go through different, listen, like, you go through so many cycles in life and levels. There's levels to growth. And when I was a kid, I used to fight growth. I used to be like, I don't like change. I don't want to move. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then it took getting to know me to realize that I want to grow, right? I want to change. Didn't know that. So that's what it was. And that was my personal journey. And what helped me through it not only was the artistry and the disciplines that I had the privilege, I'm not going to lie, because after I left grade school and DPS, I went to college, a lot of those programs were closed. So I always acknowledge, I feel privileged and honored to have had access to what I had access to. I feel so very blessed. Thank you. Hi, Mom. Because I had like I have the greatest mother. Yes, that's my mom is my superhero. Like, it's not like she understood it at all. I have a Scorpio mother. It's not like she understood it all, but she loved me unconditionally and she supported me. She saw the way my eyes would light up. You know what I mean? She could tell when I truly love something, even when I wasn't sure why I did. And she was like, all right, I want to support this. Like, I would get in trouble all the time because I'm curious. I was a curious kid. I would get in trouble all the time. She'd take everything away from me, but it wouldn't matter to me. But one thing she would never take away from me was my performing arts. She would never take dance from me, like, because she knew it would break my heart. And she wouldn't do it. It's not a punishment. That's rude. That's cruel. You feel me? She was like, I can't do that to her because that's her, how she expresses herself. And that's what I said. Shout out to moms and parents who support your creative children. They're not crazy. I promise you. They're not crazy. They just have different energy than you. And that's okay. So, yes, I had a supportive mother. My family outside of that didn't necessarily understand it. I'm not going to lie. But later on in life, I do have a lot more of supportive family. But again, that came after I knew myself. I had to be like, well, this is me. And this you're going to see every time you see me. So.
All right, so I appreciate you elaborating on the history of how ZoFine got started. Yes, yes. So, can you elaborate what you got your role with the? Are you a part of the living room or So you elaborate what you do there and how that all. Yeah.
So the living room, like I said, I did mention, and it's funny. I'm looking at Kevin Christian's mom walk by. It's always a family affair, I promise. Kevin Christian's mom is. It looks like she's like I'm about to go actually, but anyway. So Kevin Christian and like I said, Chevy De Lorenzo, Chevy with two V's. We don't get sued by Chevy, the car company, but we do say that all the time because that is his name. So those two, they actually founded, like I said, the living room over here on East Grand Boulevard by way of Eastern Market. And when they came here, they took on a few other partners that came in because they saw the vision. And they helped us kind of kick off, or I should say, help them kick off the first kind of foundations of what we referred to at that time as the music house. Because yeah, it was a music house. You know, there were musicians. Everybody here did music. They kind of moved in, and before really even setting up shop in their living spaces, they gutted the living room and turned it into a stage. I mean, they brought carpenters in, did it the right way. But that stage is standing. It's solid. Like it's in the living room, guys. Like if you ever need to know anything about the living room, the reason why it's called the living room is because it's in the living room. Right. It is in the living room of a house on East Grand Boulevard. So if anything, think Motown. Honestly, when you think of the living room, think Motown. These guys are like I said, musicians moved into a house. It's a family affair. Like I said, family home. So they moved into a house and they opened it to the rest of the musicians, not only locally but worldwide. And because they travel and they're so well, they this is their life. This is what they do. And they're like, well, I have this big house. It's a beautiful home on East Grand Boulevard. If anybody out there don't know anything about Detroit and East Grand Boulevard, it's a 5-bedroom house. And three guys moved in. The third partner was Michael Lowe. So the issue for them was like, well, we need to actually have space to perform and to rehearse. Yeah. And so that's why I said like very early on they gutted and created the stage. They knew what they wanted and wanted to create for themselves. But they already had that network. You know what I mean? Like I said, by way of Eastern Market, Kevin Christian had been a part of a artist market artist loft that I was also a part of for years. I want to say he was a part of it for 3 years. I was a part of it a little bit over 2. But he was in before I was, obviously. And so that's where he got a lot of connections to multidisciplinary artists. They did a lot of impactful work because that artist loft was supported by a nonprofit. That nonprofit was started by artists. So obviously that's why we were privileged enough to be able to have the artist loft program. Yeah, it was a privilege. It really wasn't. It sucks that it's not around anymore. Detroit support artist programs. Put that out there. Support artist programs because we need them. They're needed. We need to support the young and up and coming artists, and they don't need to struggle and feel like they don't see themselves in the community. So that was a sidebar because we ended up having to leave Eastern Market. I don't know if anybody knows what happened in Eastern Market a few years ago.
Do you see yourself back there?
Probably not. It's owned by someone else, and it didn't. Our participation didn't fit in their plan. It's the best way I can put it. The way.
Why you guys doing it here as opposed to, it may be something political. Maybe something you can't speak on.
So the best way to answer that question is put it like this. Like I said, it's public record. I can speak on the public record. Eastern Market got purchased. As I said, you can look this up. Got purchased several years ago. I think in 2018, and essentially they had a plan for all of what they purchased, and the artist loft. And the artist loft was something that they didn't outright, disown or be like, oh, we don't like this. But artists can't afford certain. We were. Put it like this: the artist loft had 8 artists, adults, 8 adults. Adult. Yeah, they creatives and they artists, but 8 adults living in one loft in the Eastern Market together. Now, man, the organization did a great job because they built within the loft like individual spaces, so you can have private spacing. If you wanted to double, you could because there's lofting, you could do that. But like again, in order to be an artist in this country, anywhere, and create a life with it, times you need community. Community is necessary. It's absolutely key. And it's a lot of times because of finances, unfortunately, that makes it so necessary. But as an artist, community is key, period, right? But yeah, when it comes to structure and just support, yeah, that's what it was. So the artist loft couldn't survive with the vision that they had for Eastern Market. So yeah, we were told like, hey, so at this date, we're gonna want this space for something else. That's the best way I can put it. There you go. And so we're like, okay, what can we do in that time? Because then collectively, we worked with our individual disciplines to bring attention to that area, to that neighborhood. We built so much, and we were building up the businesses around there. And so we were like, what can we do to really, right? Like at this point, because we weren't the only ones, right? All of Eastern Market is a whole neighborhood. Okay, we're in one little loft and one little building. They bought a lot of buildings, every building. So every business we worked with, we all were in the same boat, And having that experience, I think, yeah, it had a lot to do with why the guys moved into the building, the house that they moved in. It was being part residents, but also a space for them to be able to freely and safely grow their art. And that loft was always a space where not only that was possible, but we wanted to make sure to open that to the community of other artists. And so yeah, I guess we made sure to never let that spirit die. Like that didn't need to be removed just because we changed spaces.
So I appreciate you just kind of breaking down the history of the live-in room and the relationship with Eastern Market. And I remember a lot of changes. And I'm not sure there was an issue. I don't know if when the new owners bought the property. I remember another popular spot, Birch Place, was in the news. Was that due to the new owners as well, or?
Yeah, they were. Burt's was most certainly affected, but Burt's was in a totally different position. Burt's got history, Burt's is legendary. Burt's almost, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I might be right. I feel like he can file for historic, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so he had a little bit of a different chip, to play. But yeah, he absolutely, like I said, all of Eastern Market most certainly was in that exact same boat. And a lot of those buildings were old, and his building was old. I ended up being privileged enough to still be able to work with Birds after I moved out of Eastern Market. That following spring, I was working with Duke and Dame as a creative director. I still was working with the brand this year as well, since then actually. And we were sponsoring a comedy show over at Birds because they were doing it every weekend. And it's legendary. They've been doing it. It's legendary. We were so privileged to be a part of that, to sponsor that. And Duke and Dame really got a really great following. It's a salted caramel whiskey, black-owned salted caramel whiskey. Shouts out to Duke and Dame out of Florida. Love those guys. But they sponsored that comedy show over there. And I'm really giving you your kudos and your pats on the back because the show was amazing. He did a great job. But he had the curtains up dealing with, if it was too much rain, he had like a leak in the back. You know what I mean? That type of thing where you should be able to get more support, with your building and your infrastructure type deal. But again, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing.
So I do it kind of like a final question because you were talking about how you guys went from the Eastern Market to you guys were here and you followed the history and you followed the process. What can we do as a community to support you all? What do you guys need? What do you see in the future? Is it some type of grant? Is it some type of building? Is it some type of equipment, nonprofit? What can we do to help support you all or to raise awareness and get a community of people that's like, hey, we didn't know y'all existed and we want to support? What can we do?
Amen. And first of all, thank you for that because that's an amazing question. And honestly, all we ever want to do is just open the doors. And when the reason why you come really is you tell us this is a music house. They have a performance space, a rehearsal space. The living room is a rentable venue. That's what it is. Yes, it's in a house on East Grand Boulevard, but that's why I said think Motown. It is a rentable venue. That's why we got this. Sorry, am I hitting buttons? Okay, I saw something pop up, y'all. I be messing stuff up, but it is a rentable venue. That's why you have a festival every year. This is an annual festival, so spread the word. ZoFine Mental Health Music Fest. We have it every year. It's usually at the end of the year. And I'm not going to lie, more often than not, it's usually in August, but pandemic, changes a lot of stuff. So look out for us towards the end of the summer every single year. So fine every year. I'm speaking it every year. It will not stop. We're going to grow and get bigger and better. So tell people about that. You got the living room, like I said. We're here all the time. They're a rentable venue for if you're a musician looking for rehearsing space. There's also a recording studio. We record here, guys. We also help, like I said, I'm artist developer. So we also help artists actually own independent artists specifically. We help artists to own yourself, your brand, your art, learn how to own it, learn how to own your publishing. We do a lot of that in-house. So that I just really need y'all to know that. So how can you help? Tell people that. So you got people, little creative people in your life. Turn them on, tell them follow the living room because we're always doing something here that we feel can really not only impact the community positively as far as teaching, providing resources, but also just kind of connecting one another. If we don't have it, we know somebody who does. It's that serious because the network is that wide. It's not just local anymore. Like I said, ZoFine has transitioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many people flew in?
Oh my God, repeat people who have moved away and they come back and they're like, I can't miss it. They're like, I can't miss it. So tell people the living room. We're here, East Grand Boulevard. We're only 2 blocks away from Belle Isle. Here's I don't know if you guys know, but we went live on a live jam session every Monday for a year and a half. This is before the pandemic started. And it's continued through the pandemic. And it was the pandemic that ultimately made us break that streak. But then we morphed. We let that evolve. And if anything, if you really want to support us, help us bring that back. And what I mean by that is go to the living room social medias and demand that their lives come back. Right on their page. Demand it. Say, go live. I want to see you guys jam. I know you're jamming because they don't stop jamming. That's the thing. They don't stop being musicians, guys. It's just not going out because they unfortunately have bills, right? You know what I mean? Like,
share the website or social
absolutely. It's Living Room on Facebook. It's Living Room, LIVEING. That's why I'm saying it that way, guys. It's not living room. Living Room, LIVEING room. 2 separate words. Living Room. Facebook. Instagram, The Living Room. Matter of fact, Instagram might be The Living Room ENT, but if you type in The Living Room, you'll get it. And honestly, like I said, the live jams, they're all on Vimeo archived. If you follow on Vimeo, you can follow me on Vimeo. I'm Precious Media LLC. All the jams are on my Vimeo because I broadcasted them.
Your IG?
Yeah, my IG is Precious Vana. It's PRECIOUSVANA. That's one word. And you can follow me. And I have a link tree. So in my bio, you'll find everything I do. So no worries. So it's a lot, guys. Listen, and like I said, I self-identify at this point in my life as a filmmaker.
Yeah,
So you, lovely. See, I love female filmmakers. That's another way you can support. Shout out, go to my page, tell me I'm a female filmmaker. Let's connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an IMDb?
I do. Okay, so here's the funny part. My IMDb. So my IMDb is my government.
You know you can change that, right?
Yes, and I already claimed my name, but they put it in parentheses, so it's still in my government.
No, you can. I'll show you.
So on my IMDb, if you want to check out my work, it's funny. I actually had a movie come out last year. We had a premiere here in Detroit. It was called Harlem Nights in Detroit. Oh God! Listen, and this is I almost forgot. Listen, I'm moving. Listen,
when you are doing 1,000 jobs effortlessly, you forget.
In that movie, guys, that was a labor of love. It took us over a year to do it. I had so much fun doing that movie. So yeah, my IMDb is Ivana. I ain't even get there. Ivana Precious Blakely. I'm gonna say it again. I know that sounds. You like? Wait, you black, right? Yes, I'm black. My name is Ivana Precious Blakely. Okay, so check out that IMDb, guys, because there's some gems. If y'all know what's on my IMDb, y'all know me. Y'all know me for real. So yeah, so support that. Any artist here is ZoFine, so check out their pages. You can find all the artist information there. Follow the founders for sure. So Mirage Virtuoso, That's on Instagram, Mirage Virtuoso, and on Facebook. And the founders of ZoFine is Kevin Christian. Follow him on Instagram, Kevin Christian 84. He's Kevin Christian 84, and on Facebook he's Kevin Bosley.
Last word of encouragement to take us out for somebody watching this. Give them just a one sentence encouragement.
I appreciate y'all giving me my time to shine.
Believe in yourself, and when it comes to talking with others, as far as advice and absorbing energy from others, it's a choice. Be mindful about what choices you make, and be mindful about all things you consume. Okay, consumption is not just about eating. It's not just about, it's things you see, it's things you hear, it's what you put on your skin. So that's my final. And love yourself. Love all as you love yourself.
Love that. Thank you so much for being a part of this interview and for a part of this great event. We look forward to seeing everything you have going on, and we love to support you. So, love, light. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
So I'm excited to be here. We got some very special guests who just performed. I'm going to hand the mic over to them. They're going to introduce a little bit about themselves and the group. I'm going to start with you.
Hi, what's up, y'all? I'm Ruby Flowers. Shit, this was fun. Honestly, I had a lot of fun. Shout out to ZoFine Festival. Shout out to Metro Detroit, or Detroit Metro Plug. We're here right now. We just got off stage to be attacking Leroy. Right the fuck. I'm playing. But this word. I know that's what it is. Flowers. That's what it is. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm an artist, singer. I produce a little bit on the side. I'm a visual artist as well. Yeah, shit. Oh wait.
Hello, everybody. My name is Leroy Three Dot Mickens. I'm a producer, musician, artist, honorary member of Back to the Class band, and yeah, that's me.
How's it going, everybody? I go by Boone Tunes, the one and only. Producer, engineer, just all around good person. I'm here with Ruby, also an honorary member of Back of the Class Band. You can follow us on Instagram at Back of the Class Band, BACKOFCLASS Band, BAND. Thank you, Detroit Metro Plug. I'm sorry, it's a bee killing us right now, and thank you for having us.
Hey guys, it's Shop Goddess Toy Marie, and I feel so honored to be here at Zoe Festival with the group Ruby. They did an amazing performance today. And you back in the class is what you're Ruby and back of the class. We're getting attacked by bees right now. They're gonna bring their cousins. But so when it comes to you guys' music, what genre of music would you say that you are? Can you put you in the box or?
Well, I would say the type of music that I really like to do, or that I'm doing right now, is like indie, R&B, alternative. But I really want to expand and just do every fucking thing. Like, I like doing rock. We low-key did a rock cover today, rock, funk, all of that shit. Wherever the wind fucking blows us, honestly, that's the type of time that we're on. Yeah, these bees are fucking us up right now. That's all right. But yeah, everything that I can put my hands on, everything that I can put my voice on, honestly. That's what I want to do.
Okay. And so how long have you guys been collaborating together? How long you been in the industry?
We've been working together for about 2.5 years, 3 years now, or maybe 2.5. But we all met in college. We went to Detroit School. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost said DSA. we went to DIME, Detroit Institute of Music Education, downtown Detroit, Michigan. And there we all individually went there for different things, but we collectively came together to, bring our talents together and make Ruby. And right now we're showcasing Ruby. So yeah.
Cool beans. And was it Leroy? Okay, so you say that you do rapping. You're also a producer, director. So how did you get into rapping, and how long you been doing it?
So music has been like a long life thing for me. I started playing professionally at a young age. Same with rapping, it kind of just fell together simultaneously. Some of it's freestyle, some of it's written. It just depends on how I'm feeling.
So what's up for you guys next? Like, where are you? Are you touring somewhere? Where's your next show where we can check you guys out?
Well, literally right after this, I'm headed to 2 shows. I got a show literally at 5:30. Yeah. Get my fuck out of here. Yeah, I got a show at 5:30, and then after that, I got another show at 7. But after that, I'm gonna be working on my EP that I'm releasing. Hopefully before this year is over. And we're all gonna collab on that. Make it great. Yeah.
I don't have anything up as of late, solo wise, but you can always catch me, helping people out, playing for people, things of that nature.
In October, I do have a beat tape dropping. It's my first one. It's called "Fuck It, Thank Me Later," so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I mean, like Roy said, you can just always catch me playing somewhere with somebody, jamming all around the city, in and out the city. So yeah.
Cool beans. So she said right after this, she's gonna be booked. She's booked and busy. The definition of Detroit hustler. So I always gotta ask people, like, when I do these shows, because we're Detroiters, what side do you rep? East side or West Siders? What's the? Ah! What are you? Don't let me down. No. I'm saying she feisty. She East Sider.
I've grown up on the east, but like not east side of Detroit.
Right.
More like Harrison Township.
That's still East Side.
That's still East Side. East Side. We're still East Siders. And so let me give you guys up for one more time. Let them know your handles, where we can reach you guys and connect with you. Actually, the type of music you guys do, like I saw a dope lab like doing something that had to do with like Halloween, blood, like, some type of video with like your music and your dopeness. But anyways, let the people know your hashtags, your handles.
All right, so you can find me on Instagram at Ruby Flowers. That's RUBYFLWRS. Yeah, keep an eye out on any upcoming shows and shit, any art projects that I'm dropping.
You guys can find me on Instagram at _Roy 3.0. Again, that's _Roy ROY 3.0.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Boontunes, BOONTUNZ, and you can follow me there on everything. And as well, our band page, Back of the Class Band, BACKOFCLASSBAND. Thank you.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for your amazing talent and for showing up today for the Zo Festival. Thank you for being on Detroit Metro Plug. You guys make sure you like, follow, subscribe, watch their videos, run them numbers up, get the views up. Thank you guys so much.
Here, Joseph Blue. He's going to introduce a little bit about himself and tell us a little bit about how he got involved with the ZoFine Festival.
So my name is Joseph Blue. I'm an artist out of LA by way of Las Vegas currently. I've been rapping since I was 3 years old. Just, getting things done. My father was a producer. So kind of producer rapper. So I just kind of, went and followed his footsteps. And I produce and I rap. I play a bunch of instruments, things like that. So actually how I ended up getting involved with ZoFine, Donovan, which is one of the people that McKaye Deezer, one of the people that is performing as well as help put this on. his family, and my family, we're pretty much family. Yeah, longtime friends. So just kind of, I was just planning on going here just to go because I've been hearing, like, for the last few years, what's been going on with ZoFine. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go, and then by chance ended up being on the actual lineup. So so I just went ahead and just did my thing.
Hey guys, it's your girl Chop Goddess Toy Marie. Once again, I'm so honored to be here at the ZoFine Festival here with Joseph Blue. Now, I saw they mentioned that you wore your sweater in 80-degree weather, and you're from Cali. So, welcome to the D313. How long you been in Detroit?
So I've been in Detroit now 2 days. This is my first time out here. First time out here. They told me that, well, the weather told me that it was gonna be 80 degrees with, but they said it was gonna rain though. So I'm like 80 with rain. All right, I should at least wear a sweater. Wasn't a good look. Wasn't a good move.
So you're just visiting? Are you planning on moving here, or?
Just visiting right now. I'm actually currently in Vegas, and I'm planning on moving back home to LA. So yeah.
Now I saw your set that you did. It was amazingly dope. What genre or category do you put yourself in?
Hip hop. 100% hip hop. I'm a student of the game, so I come from listening to like older acts like Rakim. I like Ice Cube, things like that. But I'm also into like real lyricists like Mos Def, Talib Kweli. Like people that push the genre farther. That's what I'm into. So for me, I do hip hop, West Coast hip hop. I sing a little bit and I play a bunch of instruments, but I feel like that's all encompassing hip hop.
Okay. So if you could offer any type of advice for any of the upcoming artists that want to enter the game, what is some advice you would give them?
Read every contract. 100% read every contract, and also don't trust somebody just because you've been looking up to them. My father was somebody who, always was right there in the mix of everything, had his chance, had his record deal, but because of, different things with the contract and different people that he was following, it didn't work out for him. So that's one thing he instilled in me, was make sure that you read every contract, and just because it's somebody with a big name, don't just believe what they say because they got a big name. Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that, because you have artists like even Megan Thee Stallion. Like, she ran into an issue where her contract is screwing her over right now, and so that's very important that you read your contract. And so what's going on with you? You got like a CD out, or where can they find you?
So I'm all over, Apple Music, Spotify, anything like that. Right now, I do have a couple projects that are in the work, but I haven't set a release date for them. But right now, as far as projects that I have out, I have a project called Risk for Reward, with another LA artist by the name of Leak. Really good project, really solid. Then I also have my previous project, which is called the Second, and it's a really great project as well.
So do you have any upcoming events or performances that you like to share with our audience about? I know you're from LA, but okay, it's in the works. Okay, yeah, okay. Now you said you learned to play a lot of instruments. Was this you were inspired by somebody in your family? How did you end up learning to play the various instruments you play?
So my father, he was a producer, but he also is a musician as well. So I just kind of started when I started rapping at 3 years old. I actually started playing the piano at the same time as well. So yeah, I just learned piano. Yeah, learned piano. Then that snowballed into drums, and then the old techniques of how they used to record old songs, like in the '60s, and fifth take those old techniques, record it in that way, and then I sample myself, and that's yeah, yeah.
So, as a result of playing all those different instruments and having your father influence you, so do you produce other people? Okay, so you want to talk about that? What are you doing? Producing others?
So I do produce other people. I currently have some songs that are going to be out pretty soon. With actually a pop artist by the name of Adam Hart, pop artist out of Las Vegas. Then I also have, as far as hip hop, I produced a couple tracks for artists that I also have an EP with named Leak. Um, and just different people here and there. Mainly my main thing is I like to focus on my music, but if there are people that I feel like is genuine, then I'll go ahead and definitely work with them. Yeah.
So what's the again? You may have shared a little bit about what's the best way we can get access to your music. How is it available and your social media handles?
So you can it's Joseph Blue on everything. That Joseph Blue is THAT Joseph Blue spelled BLEU. That's on everything, and then you can just type up Joseph Blue on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. I come right up first thing.
Jeez. Well, we thank you so much for being a part of this event, mental health. We do have to ask you. So, it is a mental health awareness event. Do you have, any run-ins with mental health or anything you want to say about it?
Yeah. So, like everybody, I've dealt with depression. I've also had that depression lead to addiction previously, with something that I've been able to, come over. I talked about it in the song that I performed today, "Sober." So yeah, just I would say, like I said, anybody that's going through it, you can 100% get through it. Like I said, I'm a testimony. So yeah, just keep going. It's gonna be hard, but you can make it through. It'll be brighter days for real.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And so it was so wonderful meeting you once again. This is Joseph Blue. On IG, it's that Joseph Blue. And we thank you for being on Detroit Metro Plug. It was nice meeting you.
Hey everyone, this is Charles, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where connections matter. We are here live at the ZoFine Mental Health Music Festival, and we're excited. We're showcasing many of the artists who are performing at this festival. Right now, we have Billy Shakes. Billy Shakes just finished performing. Dope rap set. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and how he got involved with the ZoFine Music Festival.
What's up, everybody? I'm Billy Shakes. I'm from Marquette, Michigan. That's Upper Peninsula of Michigan, for those of you that don't know. And the whole Upper Peninsula of Michigan is the 906. So I rep the 906 very proudly, even when I'm living downstate. I'm living down here now, though. I got a degree in musical theater from Oakland University. And once I graduated, I stuck around. Got involved with making music right at the end of my college career. And really started taking seriously when I co-founded my collective, GVO. And when things started running, I applied for the Generator Music Program, the Accelerator Program. And I didn't make it the first year that I applied. And the second year, I got a call from Generator, and they're like, "How come you didn't apply?" And I was like, I forgot, and I guess I didn't make it last year, so I didn't think I'd make it, honestly. And she was like, "Well, do you want the spot? There's a spot for you if you want it." And I said, "Absolutely." And I got to learn a lot about branding, marketing, the ins and outs of what is the artist industry. And I really needed it. I grew so much as an artist in that time and learned so much and got to meet so many wonderful people in the community, including Mirage Virtuoso. And I wouldn't be here without her. She's introduced me to all the wonderful people here, and I've created so many connections already today. And ever since I've met Mirage, and so the fact that she told me to apply for the festival, and I did, not once I made it, I was so elated and just happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
We are so glad that you are a part of this festival. Once again, I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie, and we just finished this amazing performance with you. You said something that resonated, and it's something that not too many people talk about, but it's a highlight. One of the things you said in your performance was check on your strong friends. And so I think that's so important, because so many times you have these people, they have this image, you see them, they're put together, and you don't think, let me check on them. Let me see what their mental health is going on, what's going on with them, because they're strong all the time. And so mental health, is that something that you've ever had an issue with, you've been dealing with?
Oh my gosh, yes. Whoo, goodness. Yeah, I've been dealing with mental health issues for a long time. Anxiety, depression. Anxiety since I've been 12, and depression came along the way and really just settled in. you know, it's an everyday battle. And recently, it became a battle that I didn't feel like I could overcome by myself, and so with the help of my therapist, I got in touch with someone who could get me on medication, and I'm taking medication right now, and it's working for me. I'm feeling a whole lot better. And yeah, you do got to check on your strong friends, because like there's this image, yeah, like
performance, you had so much energy. You had so much. Thank you. Sorry. Hello. Yeah. So your performance, you were so well put together. You engaged with the audience. You just looked like, you were ready. So you wouldn't think you were someone that might be struggling with mental health issues.
exactly, and no one really thinks that, like, especially with a lot of cases, and that's sad that those people don't get help, and those or get checked on, because those people that are always checking on you, who's checking on them. And I was always somebody that was checking on people, and I got so burnt out and exhausted, and I crashed and I burned. And in that time period, one of my best friends called me, and I missed his call, and I was just like, oh, he probably called me, he got something, he needs something, whatever. I called him back in like urgency. I'm like, what do you need, bro? And he was just like, I'm just calling to see how you're doing. And it really took me back. And then he started sharing me with his music, and in one of his songs, he said that was his hook, is make sure you check up on your strong friends, and that became my favorite song on that album. And so when I wrote that track, I put that in there just for him. Big Zip in this bitch. Make sure you check up on your strong friends. Sorry if I'm not supposed to swear. Sorry. Okay. All right. My here. All right.
So what are some of your inspirations in getting into hip hop? How did you get started with the genre? Share some of your influences.
Yeah. So when I was in 8th grade, we had a week in language arts where we were learning about poetry, and it was the end of the first day, and she was talking about it. Half class clown question, half my hand, and I had his rap poetry, and but hold on, a bunch of 8th graders, and where I'm at, a lot of white 8th graders, laughing, they thought it was funny, and then my teacher said, "Of course, yeah, absolutely." And I sat back in my chair, and that really made me think. I went home and I started listening to a lot of classics. I think a lot of Lil Wayne, a lot of Tupac, a lot of Biggie, and I got sucked into the Biggie hole for some reason. I got sucked in the Biggie hole when I was in 8th grade, and I came across Juicy. I mean, I'd heard it before, but I listened, and we had to make a project where we put 3 poems in, and one of them I asked, could one of them be a rap verse? She said one of them, not all 3. And so I chose Juicy, and they said you can pick one of your 3 to hang up on the wall in the hallway. And I picked Juicy. And so when all the kids are walking through the hallway, you see Edgar Allan Poe, William Shakespeare, the Notorious B.I.G. And I saw, hip hop could be used in an educational sense. And then I came down to college, and I was invited to start learning how to b-boy. And that same person now is really teaching me more how to DJ. I've recently taken up. Yeah, I'm picking that up. I just learned the ABCs. So I'm not gonna say I'm a DJ yet, but I'm learning how to DJ. And you gotta know that there's levels to the shit. And in hip hop, if you can respect that, the 5th pillar is knowledge, and I gotta work on that 4th pillar. If anybody knows how to graffiti and wants to help me learn, I'd really appreciate it.
So as far as upcoming performances, do you have any? Where can we see you perform live? What's coming up next?
That's a great question. Up next, I actually have 2 DJ gigs. I'm focusing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm focusing on getting some DJing gigs, because the DJing gigs pay kind of nice. They do pay kind of nice. One of them is my cousin's wedding, and I'm really, really, really excited for that. But I actually just had a battle yesterday. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. It was a rap battle. Shout out to Frizz Allen. Shout out to my boy Frizz. Frizz. It was at Rock Local over 12527 Woodward Ave, Highland Park. Shout out to everyone at Rock Local. Shout out to Jules of Detroit. Shout out to Jules Battle Rap. Love you guys very much. Oh, it's gonna be. It's starting up. They got a battle rap league that's starting up. But JOD is hosting events weekly. We got poetry in the park. We got ciphers on Friday. Yeah, make sure you're pulling up to the JOD events. Everybody get hip if you're not hip already. Oh, ooh, the at specific the spec. Yeah. The at specifically of JOD is Jewels of Detroit. Is Jewels of Detroit. Exactly how like it should be. Yeah, Jewels of Detroit _ JOD. And they'll have a lot of the JBR stuff on there, Poetry in the Park. They'll have all the stuff on the JOD page. So make sure you go check that out. Tap in. Yeah.
So, curious, how do people get access to some of the music? Is your music available for consumption? Is it on streaming yet?
Oh yeah. Okay, let me talk about shit then. First of all, my Instagram and my TikTok is Billy Shakes GVO. Make sure you go tap in and follow that. TikTok, I'm really posting, like exclusive stuff. I'm just writing stuff and throwing it away and throwing it on TikToks. You're not getting this on Apple Music. You're not getting this on Spotify. You're not getting this on Instagram. All of them. I do post some reels and stuff. But my Instagram is also Billy Shakes GVO. And then in my Instagram bio and my TikTok bio, I got my link tree. And you can find all of my music there. You can find me on Apple Music. You can find me on Spotify, Billy Shakes. You look me up, you'll find my artist page. There's a picture of me going like, or a picture of me like this with the mic. So like, yeah, it's not hard to find me. I got a new song that was recently released on SoundCloud that's not on all platforms. So make sure you go check that out too. I couldn't clear a sample in time, but we're working on it. So eventually it'll be on closed. Oh, for me, it's Billy Shakes GVO. Yeah, SoundCloud.com / Billy Shakes GVO. GVO for good vibes only. And if you want to look up GVO, we have a collective page. It's GVO _ collective on Instagram. And you can find us on Spotify and Apple Music and all the streaming platforms. If you look us up, GVO, Chechen Chaka Deluxe, and Ambichromia. We got 4 albums out on all streaming platforms.
All right, for the last question as we wrap up, you kind of talked about kind of some of the stuff you're doing. Any final words about mental health or some other projects or encouragement that you have? Final words or encouragements or any announcements?
For those of you that didn't get to see my set, you just got to remember whatever or whomever you are chasing or whatever you're pursuing, you are the prize. Okay? Like if you're treating somebody else like the prize more than you, like you got to you are the prize. Okay? If you're not treating yourself the prize, nobody else is going to. You got to treat yourself with respect, with love. And you're not just a prize. You go into an arcade, there's 100 prizes and you get a prize. It's not that special because there's 99 other prizes. You are that one prize. There's nobody else like you. There's nobody else that can do what you can do. You are the prize. You got to remember that. And there are going to be a lot of days where you don't feel like that. And shit's going to be fucking tough. And you're not want to get out of bed. And you may not believe in yourself. You may not want to go and do anything. But work through that day. Talk to your loved ones. Do the things you love. Do the things that make you and give you comfort. Take the time for yourself. Don't feel bad for doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. So many people feel bad for self-care. They feel so bad, especially parents. Oh my God, parents. Take the time. Yo, if you need a babysitter, call one. They do that online now. Like I get it, trust people online, but like call auntie, whatever. Get out of the house. Take care of yourself. Whatever you're doing, take care of yourself. Love yourself. Be patient with yourself. I know that moment may suck, but it's just a grain in this beautiful beach, okay? Because the next day, a different grain of sand, and that may be a nice, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little grain, okay? So just remember that you can throw that other grain that sucked right into the ocean. So you are the prize. Yes.
So awesome. Billy, I adored all of the artists, but I have to say you really touched me. And so I really, really appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for meeting you today and getting to see your amazing performance. And so once again, I thank you for joining Detroit Metro Plug. Make sure you guys follow Billy on all handles and give him a shout out, get his views up. And I thank you so much for being a part. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to everyone at ZoFine Music Festival. Like shout out to Mirage, shout out to Will, shout out to Kev, shout out to everyone on the artistic team. Thank you to everyone who is able to put this on, because not only am I thankful to have a place to perform, but also to speak about mental health and gather and enjoy music and just speak openly and freely and say that I'm not okay and have people that accept that. So shout out to everyone here. Thank you so much for taking the time out to interview me. I feel so special to like literally even be sitting here and like talking on a mic right now and having an interview. They said they want to interview me. I'm like, who? They said Detroit Metro Plug. I was like, okay, great. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought that was me. Oh, thank you. It's just thank you again. I had to thank everybody. I didn't do that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again. Yes. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Take care. Thanks again. Matter. Special broadcast. We're live at the ZoFine Music Fest, uh, focusing on your mental health. How are you doing? So we're doing. That's the theme of the music festival. We're excited here. We're showcasing the artists. Our next artist just performed. Beautiful set. She is from Chicago. She goes by the name Nev, and so we're going to allow her to introduce herself, tell a little bit about herself, and how she got connected with this festival.
Hi. I'm Nev. I'm from Chicago. I feel really lucky because Mirage was actually reached out to me and asked like, hey, would you want to be in this festival? And I was so excited because it's actually my first time playing like out of state. So I was like, damn, I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. So it's cool to do it and be here.
I'm your girl, Chop Goddess Toy Marie, and I just feel so honored being at this festival. And so, one thing I loved about your performance was you were engaging with the audience, and you were saying things that tied into mental health when you were looking back to the audience and letting them know that it's okay. And so, we asked everyone that came up, like, do you have anything mental health like going on, something that could like help somebody else if they're going through something?
For sure. I'm such a big person. I'm that friend that's always like, oh, like you should go to therapy, bro. Or have just some sort of outlet. Like, there's so many things that like we all deal with on a daily basis, and so many things that like we keep it in, and like you just gotta get that out. Like, you have to process the old to like bring in the new, basically.
Right. So your one thing that people do as an outlet for mental health is like music. So is your music, and you write your own music? Okay, so is your music like somewhat like speaking for like what's going on inside? Do you use that for therapy?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a therapeutic thing for me. Like, a lot of times I'll just like be making music and I'll just like freestyle it, and I feel like it's like subconscious, like what's really going in. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The other thing I noticed when you were doing your set, your voice is beautiful. It's like it's so different. Like I can't put her in a box. I can't compare you to anyone else, which is amazing. We don't have anything like that going on. And so, is there like someone that would like influence you or?
I feel like I grew up listening to like a lot of Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
I know. I feel like that's what it is. That's it. Like, I get it a lot too. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely her. I grew up listening to like a lot of Spanish music too. So yeah.
You're rolling your R's. I was like, go girl.
Definitely.
Oh, and yeah, I agree with Toy what she said about just how your voice was so melodic, and I know that you said it in one of the intro of the songs you produced. So did you make the instrumentals or and the beats and everything? Wow. So elaborate. How did you get into doing laying your own tracks?
So it's kind of funny. Like, when I got out of high school, so many people were like, "Oh, like you should come and record and everything," but nothing ever happened. And I was just like, "Okay, I want something to happen." And I said, "Whatever. Like, I'm just gonna buy my own recording equipment, like at home." And I ate like rice and beans for a really long time because I like risked it all. But I just like learned like literally YouTube tutorials, like a bunch of YouTube tutorials. I have I have like a MIDI keyboard and like a, oh my god, what's it called? Like my Focusrite, like a little mic. I bought like a little wall thing. So yeah, yeah. So I was just like, oh, and headphones, obviously, some good headphones. Yeah, just on a budget studio stuff. So yeah, yeah. Thank you. I try.
So someone's going to see this interview, and I think you definitely gave them some inspiration. And so, starting out, what is something you would tell someone? Like, say they can't get the contract they want, they can't book the shows they want. Like, tell them something they can do to be like, okay, keep going. Like, you can do this.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say like just keeping like being inspired, like using social media, like connecting with other artists. Like, that's such a big one. Like, you can have so many friends, but like, are any of them doing what you're doing? Like. So just trying to stay inspired, connected, and like it's hard, but yeah, definitely.
So we know you're not from Detroit, you're from Chicago, and you blessed us today. So do you plan on coming back here, or what's the next performances you have coming up?
I would literally love to come back here. It's my first time here. I have another show that I have is in Chicago, back in Chicago. But I would definitely want to come out here and like keep going, go to other cities, and yeah.
And where can they find you or listen to your music?
Oh, I'm on all streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Oh my, it's just Nev NEV in like all capitals. And then Cubana Missile Crisis on Instagram. I'm extra. I know. Cubana Missile Crisis. Yeah, you know, like the Cubana Missile Crisis. It was honestly one of my friends because I'm Cuban. I'm Cuban and I'm Guatemalan. And my friend was like, "Oh, Cubana Missile Crisis," and we were like, "Ha ha ha!" And then we were like, "Wait, like, yeah." Thank you.
So like your music, so the popular thing now is like Reels video. So do you have like background sounds, like people can take snippets? Have they been doing videos with like your sounds?
Oh, like on TikTok and stuff like that?
Like the Reels videos.
Yeah, like the Reels. Yeah, people have been doing that, and it's really cool to see other people just like make their own things. Use the song and music.
Okay, so once again, you find her on Cubana Missile Crisis on IG. She is across the platforms. Make sure you stream her music. And thank you so very much for your words of encouragement for mental health. And thank you for being a part of the ZoFine Festival. I'm Toy Marie and Charles with Detroit Metro Plug. It was an honor to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Doing it when it's great, congregate and digest. Now I hold up, I said got you moving to another one. Hold up. Now I got you moving to another one. Now I got you moving to another one. Hold up. I got you moving to another one. It go dance like you trying to get home tonight. Keep your bands rubber band and move extra light. Keep your eyes on your girl, yeah, hold her tight. Let's move. Hold up, family in the building, dance like you trying to. Yeah, felt it when I saw you. You should be here, blowing me like Lachu. Strengthening, I'm not, you're the one I'm tied to. Complicated beauty, yes, I love you truly. I never been this high, this my favorite movie. Spend life up in the sky to find what I'm pursuing. No need to ask me why, I'll show you what I'm doing. Baby, I want you. Y'all can dance. Baby, I need you. Baby, you see me. Just
Here with Nate Variety. He's going to share a little about himself, how he's connected with this festival, and just how he got inspired to get into the whole rap game.
Like you said, I'm Nate Variety. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I came from Baltimore. I've been out there for about 5 years now. Connected through ZoFine, through way of friendship, for real. I know Mirage Virtuoso personally. And yeah, like when you get the call from certain people, you pull up no matter what. And the fact that it's about mental health, like I can't. There's no other way. There's no way I can turn that down, because like for me, like mental health is like important. Like a year ago, I had just started therapy, and I was in a dark place doing this festival. So like coming back a year later in a better space, in a lighter space, like in his home as well. And it was as you asked how I got into rap, mental health, to be honest, depression, natural, graphically trained illustrator, academically, I mean, and I had some trouble in school. I had to do something else to create when I was having those troubles, and it was music. It was music, and they rocking. It's that feeling.
I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. And so when it comes to mental health, when you are on stage, do you have any stage fright, any anxiety? And if so, how do you get over it?
I definitely have stage fright, anxiety a little bit. Listen, it's a thing where like right before I get on, it used to be like all day, but now right before I get on, like I get like butterflies. Like everybody tells me, like when you get that with them nerves, it's because you care, and I care. So the anxiety drives me, and also I remember when I did I sang at my great grandparents' 50th anniversary. I might have been like 7. And I remember standing there and not singing for a very long time. And from that moment, I was like, if you ever get on stage, you got to do something. Because no matter what, like you look it's way worse if you don't. So when I get up there, once that beat drop, I'm in it.
Okay, so you said you are from Detroit, West Side, or East Side?
West Side.
Ah, why does everybody stop? This is so whack, no? So we are very pleased and glad to hear so many young men, black young men, are into things like mental health. So what is your connection with this event and with the what is the co-founder Mirage? Do you know Mirage? Yeah, okay, what's your connection with Mirage?
So I know Mirage through McKaye Deezer, Donovan Weston. I don't know if I should have put your government out there. McKaye Deezer. We're going McKaye Deezer. Mirage Virtuoso. So I met her through him. And she's just a person that when you meet her, she's like a magnet where it was like almost immediately, whether I knew it or not, we were friends. Like, and that's her energy. Like, it's like, hey, nice to meet you. I've heard about you. We friends now. And I'm like, okay. So like we've been friends for a few years now, and we have a song Flow Like Water, which we performed today, which was dope because we only get to do that maybe once a year. But yes, I know her. She's a friend. Like we've talked about like things I've gone through. I've talked to her about things she's gone through. We've shared on the subject of mental health. So to be out here promoting mental health awareness and also doing something we love with music, like you gotta come do ZoFine. That's it. You gotta come through it.
So your stage presence is amazing. Like you are dope on stage and you interact with the audience and you engage. And so if you could put yourself in any category or with against any artist, like what category would you put your music in? Or where would you group yourself with who's somebody you follow? Or something like that.
I think like in a weird way, all like music inspiration to some degree kind of started with Kanye, but I'm like more of like Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, where like I'm in the world building, I'm in the connecting, I want to like be a part of the people, and every day is like another like opportunity to build. Like I did stuff today that I've never done before, like perform with a DJ. That was my first time. Shout out to DJ Focus. Had to bring Baltimore with me because again, like I said, last 5 years. But just like I just try and connect. I just try and be present. I just try and be in the moment, not only for myself but for everybody that's coming to see me, whether it's friends or strangers that don't know me yet. Because like I'm trying to build with everybody. Like the goal is to connect. So like I want to pour that energy in because I want the energy back. Like it's an exchange, and I want us to wave together, be on the frequency, vibing, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. You know how it goes. Rapping a little bit.
I want to say again, a great performance at the festival, and I really admire how your stage presence and your flow. How would you best describe your style of hip hop? I know you shared a little bit about who inspired you, Kanye and others. How would you best describe your style?
So for a long time, I was just kind of saying like an eclectic hip hop rapper because it's somewhere between hip hop and R&B, to be honest. But I'm starting to like just like embrace the fact that I draw. I have a degree in illustration, and art's a very much part. Like the shirt I'm wearing, I design. So like at this point, I'm gonna just call myself a graphic rapper. So hey, beautiful. That's my girlfriend, Akila Devine. She killed that tonight too. Or
Let's switch out because I want to get her in because I thought it was so dope. No, come on this side. Come over there. Yeah, you come here. Let's switch out. We're gonna bring her in and introduce her. So of course, when she came through, we noticed her because she's beautiful. And then she sprung us with a little. She did a whole performance, so it was like this whole twister that you did. So how did you get into music? And let us know what your name is.
My name is Akila Devine, and I've been doing music for almost my whole life since I was about 5 years old.
my next performance, as of right now, is December 11th. All Eyes on You open mic. That's in Baltimore, Maryland. Technically White Marsh, but if you get to Baltimore, I can get you to White Marsh. So if you could pull up, pull up.
So I'm from Baltimore, born and raised in Baltimore. I love Detroit. Thank you for having me, Detroit. Next show is October 1st. It's an all-women show, all women vendors, all women performers. We're doing it for the black women. So it's gonna be amazing.
All right, just want to thank you guys again. A beautiful performance. I like your chemistry, the style. Wish you much success in your endeavors. So thank you again for joining us on Metro Detroit Metro Plug podcast. Um, that's it. Yeah, tell us how we can find you again.
My Instagram is Akila.divine, AKILAH period DIVINE, and everywhere at Akila Divine.
You can follow me at Nate Variety. That's NATEVARIETY. And yeah, let's get wavy. Oh, my DJ at DJ Focus, DJ FOQUS 410. And that's it.
We definitely had to plug that DJ because he did an amazing job, DJ Focus. Shout out to Focus. Once again, I thank you guys for blessing us with your presence and with your dope music, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Who are a part of this festival. So I'm excited about our next artist we're going to feature. Um, his name is Jody Watts. Did an excellent performance. Shared his heart, his soul. I was definitely just hyped just hearing him perform. So he's going to share a little bit about himself, how he got into his music, and how he's connected with the ZoFine Music Festival.
Hello, people. Uh, Again, I am Jody Watts, and yeah, I'm here on behalf of ZoFine, so I really appreciate you all just for having me here. A little bit about my background. I'm from the west side of Detroit.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, so I mean, the best side, the best side, Brightmoor area, Linden and Minot. Me and my family are from there, so yeah, I come from the west side. Grew up in a single parent home. My mother basically raised me. My father was not there, my biological father. So that really inspired me to do music and to write and just get those feelings off that I was feeling when I was younger, but didn't know how to exactly express it at the time. I just used it as a form of therapy. As a kid, I didn't know what depression was until I got older. So just being able to write and use that as a outlet definitely helped um, with everything that I dealt with growing up. So that's what got me into doing music, and yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. So I do have to say, your stage performance was amazing. You messed us up over here. Like, we were trying to conduct the interview, and I wanted to jump out of my seat and like jump. I'm like, oh, we're doing the interview. Okay, let me cut him off. But you were all the way hype up there and in a zone. So what is do you write your own music?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. So what's your creative process when you're making your music? Like, for instance, for myself, I like to do what we call jam out sessions. Like, I go into the studio, we just play something and we start coming up with the harmony, and then the harmony comes freestyling, then freestyling goes to paper. So what's your creative process?
Really, it just depends. I don't have like a set ritual. I would say that my creative process is very chaotic. I just do what I feel, when I feel, how I feel. Some days I may just light a candle, or I may just write in the bathroom, or just go for a walk and find a park and sit on the bench. But it's never really a routine, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but it works for me. And yeah, I just like to have that childlike mentality when I do create, because I believe that when you don't have fun with it, then you should be done with it. So that's really my process.
Cool beans. And so, what kind of brung you into the industry? Like, I know what you said, the motivation behind, you joining. Was there like a person that was like, you know what? I happen to hear you in the shower sing. I think you would be dope. Like what brung you in?
As far as inspiration goes, I would say Jay-Z. Definitely, my mom played Jay-Z growing up. Um, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, um, Kendrick. Definitely is one of the people who I look up to for sure. And then Andre 3000. So that would be like my five best, but mainly Jay Z. how he said it and what was he saying at the time kind of resonated me even as a kid. I don't know why, but I really like how he delivered, and he really was taught about like ownership, and I didn't know exactly what that meant at the time, but it was more motivational music, if that makes sense. Yeah, so when I played Jay-Z, it just made me motivated to really get it and to excel in life. And yeah.
So, like we said, your stage presence was amazing. You interacted with the crowd. So, since you're going up in the way that you interact with everyone, does it come with fans or like any interactions with fans that might have seen you out and noticed you? Like, oh my God, take a picture with me. Like, how do you interact with your fans?
I interact with my fans just by I'm an intimate person, so I like to talk to everybody after the performance and just to get to know them on the human level. So um I just always like having people involved. Like I really thrive off of energy, I want everybody to be included and to be a part of what I'm doing. So yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to follow up. You mentioned about your influences, uh, like Jay Z, Kanye, Three Stacks, Andre 3000, and you talked about mainly how Jay Z influenced you, not just from a rap perspective, but as a business person. So, would you say like, do you model your career and how you move, like how he owns stuff, or you elaborate how do you model yourself like how Jay Z?
I would say that he definitely inspired me to really care about ownership, if that makes sense. I believe that is most important as black folk, in the world that we live in. And also just my parents as well. Um, they they believe in ownership as well. And I think just from them listening to music and just breaking generational curses and just setting a new tone for the new standard for the next, which is me and then my grandkids. I feel like it's important to leave a legacy behind. So that's something that really resonates with me about Jay Z. I don't have my own label, not yet. I would say not yet. I am working on that right now. I'm just coming up with the back end. Yeah, contact me. Yes, yes. But yeah, most of the things that I am working on are not out yet, but it's all happening. It's coming to life. That is definitely important. I'm an advocate for that for sure. Yeah, yeah.
One thing you talked about was breaking generational curses. And so we are at a mental health awareness event. Do you feel like, as you being a black male, like there's any type of like stigma about, you expressing, you have mental health issues or getting therapy? Was that something hard for you? Or did that come easy for you? Or what do you think
Um, I would say that again, like growing up, I didn't know I couldn't put a label on the feelings I was feeling or I felt at the time, but growing up and really how the world is making mental health more acceptable, so to say, and everything mainstream. I feel like it is important because again, we have to break generational curses, and we also have to be free and not be chained from our past traumas and what we have dealt with. And yeah, I believe in becoming the best version of ourselves. So um, I believe that therapy is a good thing, and yeah, it's a good thing. And also, um, growing up, I would say that back in the day, it wasn't as acceptable. Like people would look at you funny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll try to undermine it and just not hear you out. Try to mute you on how you were feeling. So it was tough, like just dealing with that and not knowing exactly how to solve it. But mental health and therapy is definitely an amazing thing, and I definitely recommend everybody go get some help. Yes, yes, I treat it like therapy. It's therapeutic to me. Um, yeah, like everybody should definitely go to therapy. I recommend that everybody unpack, to become better.
Any live performances that we can come check you out, buy tickets and support?
I have some coming up later on in the year. I would say fourth quarter, around November, and definitely next year. I'm currently finishing up an album that's coming out in November. Yeah, so that'll be out, and then yeah, everything will follow once that is out. So I'm just excited about it. So I am active on all streaming platforms. Yeah, so I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, wherever you love to listen to music at, I'm there. Just my name, Jody Watts, first name, last name. Yeah, so it's JodyWatts. That's my gov name. So yeah, that's how I'm coming. Yeah.
Cool beans. So we thank you so much. You have truly blessed us today, and we feel honored to be in your presence here at the ZoFine Festival. This is his first interview, so I think you did amazing. So you guys make sure you go and plug him, listen to his music, stream him. He's an open agent on all platforms. Let's go ahead and support. So once again, we thank you here at Detroit Metro Plug, Jody Watts.
Who lit? Who lie? Who out? Who came? Who is? Who got? Drill out? Who bang? Who stop? Who that? Who pay? With a new day. I just gotta come and set the standard. Black flag, word of my banana. I've been fantasizing by the providence. Boxing juice like Tropicana on top. Long on the lot, known for the drop. Slow in the lock, blowing in my mouth, shine on my fist. Yeah, even known for the drip. Get a box. Yeah, this is what it is. New go biz on the top of the dome. This is what it is. Yeah, I rap home. BET 313. You know where I be. I'ma go kill it. I'ma go kill it.
ZoFine Music Festival, focusing on mental health. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. So we're here. We're featuring some of the artists who are showcased at the festival. So I'm excited. Our next guest is going to share a little bit about himself. He goes by Hugo Biggs. Hugo Biggs. So he's going to tell you a little bit about himself, a little bit about his music, how he got involved in rapping and performing. So let's give it up for Hugo Biggs.
Yeah. How y'all doing? I appreciate the love and attention that y'all giving me and the artists and the festival. So thank y'all for coming out. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah,
So how did you get started?
I've been rhyming for like ever. So I started.
So you're clever. You said rhyming.
Right. Yeah. I've been rhyming for years. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I've been like I've always just loved songwriting or whatnot. That's how I started off. And I did it in high school. I didn't start taking it serious till like maybe a few years ago. But yeah, I've always just liked music. So yeah.
So your music, when you said rhyming, is it more of like rapping?
Yes,
singing,
I am. I would have to label. I would label it. Like I would never claim singer because I don't have that singer's voice. You know what I'm saying? I be doing the fake singing. But no, I enjoy like writing melodies or whatnot too. But no, I do. I'm primarily a rapper. I'm primarily a lyricist.
Movies. And once again, I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. So thank you so much for being here and being a part of this event. You were very helpful today. Like I saw you setting up and passing out things. So you are very hospitable. So we appreciate you. And so we are here at a mental health awareness, suicide awareness. So is that ever something that you've had to deal with, anything, mental health, maybe depression, anxiety, or anything like that you had to overcome and now?
Absolutely. Like if anything, I try to like be that rock for like the people around me or whatnot.
Is anybody a rock for you?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. The people that are here to actually throw this show, like they really, really like took me under their wing. And it like vulnerability is kind of weird. Like for me, like I'm not used to it, and my anxiety flare up under different situations. But being close to people and building connections was hard for me. So that would probably be the main thing that I'll say that I worked on over the past few years. Just getting closer to people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So you said the people here. So would
help
you
do
say
that.
it feels like a community? And if so,
Absolutely.
is this something accessible to other people where
Absolutely.
they can be a part?
Yeah. Actually, they do live jam sessions, and it's not just music. Like people come out for poetry, like graffiti artists, like whatever art you do, it's always welcome here. But when it comes down to like musicians, like it's a house run by musicians. So like, and it doesn't matter like skill level or whatnot. Like that's one of the reasons why I really gravitated to it, because like I don't play an instrument, but I'm primarily a rapper. But they were so welcoming to me, it kind of just like, yeah, I just started becoming a permanent part of this whole thing. So yeah, I'd say it's community. Yeah, absolutely.
And so you said that, so we didn't hear anybody else like mention what you were saying. I really want to zone in on it for people that's going to be watching, because I didn't know. I thought maybe this is a one time thing, maybe this was an event. So you said it's like a community, and you guys do events. Do you know like what's the name they go by, or like is it a specific day, time, or how can they sign up?
Pretty much the name of the building is the Living Room, and the Living Room. We are at the Living Room. ZoFine Festival has been going on for like, I think this is the 5th year that we've been doing ZoFine, and yeah, it's community based. So it's honestly like an open door. Like all you got to do is knock on the door, like for real. Then they've been a part of this community for a little bit longer than that. But ZoFine has been going on for 5 years.
And so, coming into this industry, what inspired you the most, or was there a person that inspired you, or how did you get inspired to do this?
I wouldn't necessarily say a person. I'm a lover of hip hop culture. I'm a lover of just rap music in general. Like a lot of my biggest life lessons came from rap music, listening to rap music, and I've just immersed myself in it so much. It's grown with me, and I've grown with it. So like, no, it's kind of just like it's second nature at this point.
And so when you get ready to perform, I mean, does it come natural? Do you have like anxiety, butterflies? Like, so how do you get through it? How do you get through it? So somebody else is like, I can't do that. Like, I'm shy. I got anxiety. I just can't. How? Tell them what they can do.
Look, get in tune with yourself. Like whatever you feeling, like that anxiety, don't fight it. Like lean into it. So like I have to go. That's the thing. I have to go sometimes just be by myself. If I'm a freak out, I'm gonna just go freak out by myself. But our anxiety, when it comes down to mental health, we be kind of scared to feel our emotions, and that's what. Yes, we run from it, and we shouldn't. So like if I have to tell anybody anything that like wants to be more confident in regards to musicianship, you just be comfortable being scared. Like still act while you're afraid. You can still act and work through that.
I wanted you to you talked a little bit about it's a living room, right? So so is it like a community based neighborhood gathering, or how would you just define the services and the things they do?
I would define it as like a one-stop shop for musicians, because like but like the community is always welcome here. So like people from the neighborhood are definitely allowed to just come to any event, and just show up. But yeah, they have. Yes, we want to like service creatives here. So if you have a creative talent that you want nurtured or you want to be around, one thing is like a lot of people want to be creative, but they don't have like people an outlet or an environment where they can be creative. So so this place is built for that. It's an environment to specifically be creative if you want to tap into that.
So we're speaking to the youth right now, and particularly maybe a young male who's battling something with mental health issues. What is some advice or some tips you would give him about getting help or therapy? Some things that he could do.
The most important thing that I could tell any young man right now is to do not keep it to yourself. Don't bottle it up, because I know that the era that I came from, we were groomed to like keep it to ourselves. Boys don't cry. Like, and I would like to actually break that stigma. I really would like to, for all young men, like if you're listening right now, to just know that you're not alone. There is no shame in asking for help. And if you've ever had like I don't close yourself off. because there are people that are looking to help and to actually be that. So yeah, just don't bottle it in. Don't keep it to yourself. And take it seriously, because like there are people that out there that love you and that you have no idea. You've never met them. Like the love is out there. You got to go where the love is. I'm gonna never tell anybody, like to stay where they feel uncomfortable or unwanted. Go where the love is, and if the love is not in your environment, go find it, because it is out there. I don't want you to think that it's not there. So
So, Hugo Biggs, can you tell us how can people get access? Do you have music available that people can consume, and what's your social media? Yeah, what's your social handles?
my music is available on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. My socials, you can look me up on Instagram. It's Hugo Biggs Music, HugoBiggs Music. That's my IG. Twitter, I'm Hugo Biggs. All I do is kind of like, I just post random stuff like on social media. I'm not, like, yeah. That's all I do. But yeah, I'm an open door. Just send me an inbox if you would like to work, or touch, pick my brain or whatnot, and touch bases. Yeah.
All right, so we want to thank you for being on the podcast and sharing your journey and about the things you guys are doing with the living room. Any other announcements or anything you want to share? Closing? Any closing?
Yeah, I actually have a project coming out. I have not released it, but tonight I will be performing like a brand new song. Yeah. So if anything, like I've been going out and like performing snippets of new projects. So please follow me, and yeah, just keep in touch, because I'm gonna be all over the city promoting it and trying to link up with people. But tonight at the living room, I'm absolutely doing a world premiere of a song. So yeah.
All right, folks, you heard it on the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, world premiere, Hugo Biggs. So check out all his social handles, his platforms. Look forward to your projects. Thanks again for being here. All right. Take care. All right.
Try to pull me out without the right click, can't copy. Lately I've been waking up the mirrors praying, thinking God, they not me. I've been voting for a minute, lovers for the tennis racket, got them open now, more completed, blocking represented, on it for the realest, on it for the business. I just gotta kill it, I just gotta feel it, I just gotta feel it, ho. Steady as a nigga, real ho. When I'm super saiyan, wish a nigga would. Hey, you wild checking at a killer dope. On God mode, for the squad, I be on the job, doing for the tribe. Every minute, knowing I'm the real nigga, trying to slide on the guy, but the nigga like, yeah.
This is a special podcast where we're live at the ZoFine Music Festival. We have the opportunity to interview the artists who are performing. And so we're excited. Out of Chicago on the south side to Detroit, our next guest is Relic the Bully. He's going to introduce himself, share a little bit about himself, a little bit of background, whatever he feels comfortable with, how he got involved in his music, and how he's connected with the ZoFine Music Festival.
I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me here. Of course, like you said, my name is Relic the Bully, aka the youngest sugar daddy in the game. I've been rapping for a very long time. I've been singing for a long time. I literally started rapping and freestyling. I was freestyling all the way at like 6 or 7 years old. So it's just always been in me. It's been my heart and my passion. Like the first person to ever get me into this was really DMX and Biggie. So that's where I got a lot of my aggression from, and a lot of my just like how that little grit. Like no matter what, I can be tired, like so exhausted, and I still got to get that last bit out just because I gotta be a showman. I gotta finish it out. But yeah, I've always loved music. It's always been my passion. Music Soul Child is a big influence of mine as well. Black Thought, Killer Mike, Common. It's just a lot of the influence I have. I've been connected with ZoFine for the last few years. I actually know the founder and everything like that. And every time I apply, they want to have me back. So I'm always really grateful for that. So it's always my favorite thing to come out here and actually spread some of my love, spread some of my message. And actually, one of the biggest things that's important to me, especially, is like a lot of people are insecure about themselves. And ZoFine is a fact about mental health. It's a mental health festival. So the one thing is, a lot of bigger people, they grow up with insecurity issues because nobody taught them how to love themselves. Like the media teaches like every like skinny person you see or somebody like that they don't deem it's like the beauty image and how to love themselves. So I feel like with my music and what I like to do and my influences, I feel like you can be a big dude and you can also be a sex symbol just as anybody else is, and you can always have mass sex appeal. So that's one thing I always like to spread every time I'm rapping, and they can hear it every time I'm spitting. You hear what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. So that's how I got started in everything in here.
Hello, Beans. I'm your girl, Chop Goddess Toy Marie. So we want to welcome you to Detroit. Now, probably one of the biggest questions, because you're from Chicago, that everybody probably asks you that we want to know. Are you from 63rd?
I'm not from 63rd, but I'm from 53rd. I know what I'm saying.
Okay, we love your stage performance. The energy was dope. It was right. And so today, what was like one of your greatest songs that you think you released so far?
My greatest song that I've done on that stage will probably be Mia Coast, because it has everything people can look for. When it's lyricism, attention grabbers, something catchy. It's very fun. It's really something I did for the city. And that's one thing I can always say when it comes to everything all around. That's the one.
Now you said some of what really started you, but was there any person that was like, I want to see more of you? You need to be in the studio. Was there somebody that really influenced you, that brought you into the industry?
Actually, no. It was everything I want to do myself. I seen what my goal was, and I said I'm gonna do everything to accomplish it. I had people around me, of course, that showed me a lot of support and a lot of love. My family, my friends, my people I rap with. However, when it came from me being a child to coming up and doing and getting where I am now, I just wouldn't stop because God got me. If I had to pick somebody, it was God. So God told me to do this, and that was my destiny.
Now, when you write your own songs, right? Okay. So, what is like your creative process? Like for some people, they might just listen to the music first and then let the beat take them. Like, what's your creative process when you're creating?
One thing I've always loved to do is freestyle. So I would stay freestyling anytime I hear a beat, a melody. It didn't even have to be hip hop. I'm freestyling over it. You go to guitar on and I freestyle over that. So that's what I would do. My process is really, as soon as I hear a beat or I hear something in the beat that I absolutely love, I will write a whole verse in like maybe 45 minutes. Sometimes I write it less. I speed through and then I just keep saying everything on my mind until I feel like, all right, this beat doesn't need anything else. So that's normally my process. I just fall in love with something. I know as soon as it hit my ear, this the type I'm on. This is what I want.
So we're here with Relic the Bully. What I wanted to ask you a couple of things. First, when I noticed about your stage performance today, excellent performance. You mixed in a little bit of hip hop and R&B, and it seemed like you're multi. You can sing and rap. So I want to ask you, how did you, how was you inspired to develop that process, and also what's the origin of your stage name?
So when I started, before I ever rapped, I sang. So it's like I was singing in choir and anything like that. And then as I slowly got on and I kept doing stuff and hearing all the music that was around me, I started writing more raps. And in high school, it kind of did the switch for me. And slowly as I got older, I really, really wanted to get that back. I wanted to get a lot of the singing back into what I was doing. Because some of the things I was doing during that period of time, it wasn't hitting how it should have. And people were very, my people that love me and they honest with me, they were very vocal about it. So I busted my butt. I started practicing and I started getting to a point of where I can straight up do everything at one time. I can go instantly from rapping, going transition instantly into singing and back and forth. So I had to get that done, and that's how I ended up getting to where I wanted to be. Now for my stage name, it's a little bit of long, but I started when I was younger. I used to go for my nickname my mom gave me, which was Wooka Bear. Then I just straight up flipped that. I was like, yeah, I'm mind you, I'm a massive man. Like you wouldn't be able to tell on camera, but I'm 6'8", and I'm just, of course, I'm a voluptuous human being. No. But so I switched it, and then we got Relic the Bully. Just I switched my last name around from Collier. It was Relic, and that was a chain. I switched that to Relic as one of the greatest of the generation. And I used to play a lot. I used to like literally fight a lot with my friends. They called me the Bully, so that's how I got Relic the Bully.
Okay, so you also go by what, Sugar Daddy? That's your ID? Sugar Daddy. So you're a ladies band, right? And you're tall, that's what ladies like. So when it comes to like, they might want to know what your type is. So if there was 3 celebrities or female musicians, like who would you choose? Who would you date?
All right, that I love that question. Yeah, it is. I'm the youngest sugar daddy in the game because I am 26. I'm 26 years old, but they of all ages they love me. But if we had to go with 3 people, if we're going with 3 musicians, or celebrities, I was like, all right. So one will have to be Tabria Majors. She is a model. She is doing a lot of work with Torrid, with Riri, with 7650 and everything. That's one. My second one will 100% have to be SZA. I love SZA. I love everything she's about and the vibes. And my third and last one, I think we're going to have to go with. Oh, this is hard actually, because like it's so many. I love so many. I think so many women are beautiful. I just think they are across the board. If I was gonna pick my last one, I think it would probably have to be Janae Aiko. I think that gotta be my last one. I know. Hey, my chances are ruined. No, I'm just playing. But that would be my third pick.
Yeah, I was gonna. Unless you have any more questions, I was gonna wrap it up. How can people consume your music, and what's your social media handles? How do we get a hold of you? Is your stuff streaming on? Yeah, tell us how we can get your music.
So one thing I forgot, I performed at Carnegie Hall on April 7th on my birthday with the School of Thought, with Black Thought and everything like that. So that's one thing you can check out online on YouTube and everything. If you want to find me, it's Relic the Bully on all streaming platform, all DSPs. It's RELIC THEBULLY. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it's FAT_DADDY _RELIC. Fat Daddy Relic, Relic the Bully. That's all they need.
Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence, the stage. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Okay. Any final thing you want to leave off? Any upcoming performances? Any announcements or anything you want to leave us with?
Absolutely. I feel like everybody needs to understand, no matter where you at in life, if you keep pushing, you're going to see results. Everybody's going to tell you, a lot of people, might not be everybody's. People are going to tell you, you can't do it. Why are you doing this? It's nothing but critiques and judgment all in this world. But if you focus in and channel in on the people that's supporting you and letting you know, like, this is something you could do and this is something that's attainable and achievable, you will always stay strong. I didn't know that when I started this, that before I even got to the famous person I am, that I would be performing at Carnegie Hall. Nobody would be able to tell me that. And for me, I already knew that nothing else, can't nobody else tell me anything else for the rest of my life, because I was able to come and achieve what I already did. So that's one thing. Things I'm working on. I'm actually working on a comic book project right now. I'm doing an entire album for a comic book. It's called No Other Gods. That's one thing I'm working on. I have 2 projects coming out. Also, one with my producer, Lucky. It's called Marvelous Gems, Live from the Tomb. And then I have a last project. It's called Relic and Friends, Revengers Assemble. And we're giving you every single vibe you can possibly ask for.
All right. Well, thank you again, man. We appreciate you. Yes. And so everyone, make sure you check out his social media handles. Follow him on Instagram. Look for his projects that's coming out. Great. He's a great performer. I mean, shoot, he was seducing the ladies. Y'all got to be careful when he does his music, because you are going to get seduced. So thanks again, man. All right, man. All right. Special podcast. We're live at the ZoFine Music Festival, focusing on mental health. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're excited to be here at the festival. We are showcasing the performances that are here, and we're interviewing the artists. And I'm excited because we have our next guest, next artist, Ellie Santiago. Ellie San Diego. She's going to talk a little bit about herself her musical journey and how she's connected with the ZoFine Music Festival.
Yes. So how you doing? My name is Ellie San Diego, and I've been an artist for some years now, and just kind of on the Detroit scene, different genres of music, being also an open mic host and things of that nature. And the cool thing about it is I've met a lot of these people through the art of music. I think a lot of things that we don't talk about, we all deal with. And so the fact that we have the ZoFine Festival to highlight mental illness is really important because a lot of creatives have journeys. They have things that they go through. It's not, all black and white. So I think it's really, really dope to be able to talk about that gray area. So yeah, I'm just here.
And I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. I caught a glimpse of your performance. Not a glimpse, I caught all of it. It was amazing. And I noticed that a lot of your music, there was like kind of a message. Is there like a general like message around like mental health, like in specific songs? And so which songs?
So I think I try to tell a story that I've gone through that hopefully somebody can relate to. I definitely try to have a positive message, even on the stuff that's like a little bit shenanigy. You know what I mean? Like I try to still have some form of a message in that to encourage someone else because I know what songs have done for me in my life. So being able to have something to listen to that uplifts me has been important in my journey. So I just want to give that to other people.
So is your music like therapy for you? Is it therapeutic? Like are you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that any gift that you are God given is definitely going to be therapy. But being able to express myself, learning how to find the language and the words to like say things that I'm feeling, I think is really really important. And yeah, I want to share that with people.
So some of the things you were doing when you were performing, you were interacting with the audience, and so we are at a mental health awareness event. Is mental health issues something that you've dealt with, or like how do you connect with this audience?
So a crazy thing about it is maybe last year I had started with a documentary talking about, since we're talking about mental health, right? It's becoming a conversation, which is amazing. But the fallout from mental health and people that are attached to people who have mental illness. My mother was was mentally ill or has been mentally ill all my life. So I grew up with a mother who was schizophrenic, paranoid. So that's really difficult. But then also in my journey, I'm also learning that mental health is not just black and white. It can also like show up in forms of like not self-caring, like not, people pleasing. It shows up in so many different ways. And I had to realize that at one side of a spectrum to the next, I deal with it too. Like I'm a mom, like I be having stress. I'm stressed out sometimes, like, and being able to process those emotions, the way that we show up, that's mental health. So that's kind of how I fall in line with that, dealing with it, but experiencing it from another, ends of the spectrum.
So one of the highlights of today that someone mentioned, it was check on your strong friends. And when someone sees you, you are very put together, you are confident, and you exude that. And so, I mean, do you have someone check on you to see, hey, girl, you okay? Like you have an accountability partner, like.
So I have a best friend who's amazing. I think I do really well at, oh, I'm good. I don't need help. I'm so good at it that even the closest people to me can be like, oh, she got it together. And I'm dying inside, So, like, I'm learning how to be honest about where I am and how I'm feeling so that I can get some kind of help. So I can get some kind of assistance and support because if we don't speak up and we pretend like everything is okay, especially being able to put on this facade like I'm perfect and I got it all together, like that's not doing me any service. It's doing me harm.
I love that you said that, and I think that's very important, especially us being, Black people. It's not normal for us to talk about what's wrong or to say, I'm having an issue. So I think that's amazing. You're definitely going to help someone out there. And so, out of all of your songs, what is like one of your favorites, and why?
Now that's a hard question. I don't even know. I'm never like, I don't have an answer, but I don't know if I do. Some of these songs I've lived with for years. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, one of the songs that I would say that looks on the surface, because I think that when I was able to like acknowledge some of the stuff that I went through, like my traumas with my dad not being around when I was younger, and my mom like being becoming paralyzed at a young age, I think that I would have to say that because I was always like, we can do it. It's power, life, love, but I had to start being realistic about like saying, getting deep and dirty, you know.
And so, are you an only child, or how many children is it? Are you the oldest?
So I'm an only child on my mother's side. I'm my mother's only child, but my dad, he's got three other boys that are older than me. So I'm the youngest sibling to three grown men.
I asked that because like I said, like you exude someone that has always had to like carry yourself, carry the family, carry the torch, and it seemed to me that your music is speaking to those strong people. You're the strong one, like especially you dealing with what your mother was having to go through, like you had to. Were you ever have to be the one that pull her out sometimes and be like, okay, I got to get things going for us?
Yeah, a lot of times, and I still kind of struggle with that as well because she's still mentally ill, and she's also paralyzed. So you deal with guilt of not being the best daughter. I can't see after her as much as I want to. But you have to make peace with what you can do, and you gotta every single day do whatever you can to be the best you can be, and start over first the next day. And that's just what I'm learning.
Oh yeah. I just want to say I really enjoyed your performance. What I liked about it, the song seemed very thoughtful, and I wanted to ask, what is your creative process in writing? How do you flow to get that kind of deep in your songs?
Oh, so I think that is an amazing question. I think because I'm busy all the time. I'm all over the place. So it's just a blessing that comes when it comes. I know that's like I have a plan of like having this very real creative process, and I'll write down in like a notebook, and I'll do all of these things. It never worked out like that. It never worked like normally I've made a studio session, and I was supposed to, someone else does my beats for the most part, or I'll find like something. But I will literally be like, I was supposed to write this last week, and I did not write this last week, and I'll be like last minute, and I show up, and like sometimes I'm not happy with how it came out, so I just like re-record it. But like that's the pressure.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you said that, because a lot of people, when they want to create or they want to enter the music industry, they think they have to be put together. They think my song has to be in this format. They think everything has to be professional. So I think the trend we're seeing tonight is not everybody they're all over the place. They like just get it done. And so if you could pick anybody, now it could be local artists, it can be, Beyonce, or who is a celebrity that you would like to collaborate with?
That's a good question. Lil Kim. I'm gonna say Lil Kim, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, because like she's probably one of the most disrespected. She said this herself, one of the most disrespected legends. Yeah, she is, and like just that homage, just that history, just all of the things, man. We don't know that woman struggle. You know what I'm saying, for real. And so like just being that pioneer in hip hop, regardless. My content ain't even the same, but like just being working with her, I think would be dope. Yeah, yeah.
So what's next? You got any performances coming up we can support?
So you can follow me on Instagram, and I'll keep you posted on those things. I definitely am doing something in the beginning of October. I believe it'll be an acoustic showcase, but I'm just kind of working on like trying to do some more music because a lot of this stuff is old and I'm tired of it. So just kind of like revamping my artistry and things of that nature. Absolutely. So Ellie San Diego on everything. ELLIESANDIEGO. That's where you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube. Yeah. Yep. So I do have a couple of songs on Spotify as well. Yeah, for sure. So there'll be some more things coming up, and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much. You have blessed us tonight with your performance and your awareness, because a lot of your music was very conscious music. So we appreciate that. And once again, you guys, make sure you stream, make sure you follow, support, please. And we thank you so much for being a part of Detroit Metro Plug. I'm Toy Marie.
I'm Charles McKaye, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, streaming now on YouTube at Detroit Metro Plug podcast. So you want to check out these interviews. We're excited about this festival and just amazing artists. A lot of people may not even know of, but great talent. And we're just glad to be here. We've seen some future stars. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, are you West Side or East Side? Where did you go to high school?
So I went to Cass and I went to Ford. Oh, did you? Okay. All right now. Okay. That's great. Yeah.
So I don't know. A lot of talent coming from the West Side. A lot of talent coming from the West Side. Any other announcements before we close out, or you shared everything, or any words of encouragement?
Keep sticking with it. Show up every single day. Show up every single day. You feel bad? That's cool. We all feel bad. Like, just keep going.
All right. So you heard it. Show up every single day. We want to thank our artists for coming in today. So all right. Thanks a lot. We are here at the ZoFine Music Festival featuring the topic is the theme is mental health. Are you doing well? Hopefully you're doing well. So we're here. We have the opportunity to interview the performers, the artists, some great performances. We've been here all day, and we heard some outstanding performances. Rappers, R&B singers, soulful artists, just very different, diverse talent. And so we're excited for our next guest. He's going to share a little bit about himself. He's going to share a little bit about his musical journey and how he's connected with the ZoFine Music Festival. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our next guest, McKaye Deezer. Yay!
What up, though? What's going on? What down, folks? What's up? So I go by the name McKaye Deezer. I am from Detroit, Michigan, also from Chicago, Illinois, born in Dallas, Texas. I'm kind of a location mutt. At least that's what I like to call it. My musical journey started, I don't know, as pretty far back as I can remember. Maybe like 10, 11 when I started really writing poetry and things like that. I've always been artistic. I've been drawing as long as I can remember. So I'm really just a creative person that likes to visualize and sonic eyes, if that's a word, all of my ideas and things that come to mind. So that's what I do. And go ahead. No, I was just thinking, he said how I was associated with the Living Room and ZoFine. So I'm one of the organizers as well as an artist. I've been a part of the Living Room for about the past 4 years, and it's just been a blessing to be around so many talented musicians that have upped and elevated my game so much. So I'm extremely blessed, and I love these people. And they are family. We fight, we fuss, we argue, but we also elevate, we build, we grow, we eat together. So that's what it is.
I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. I am so honored to be here at the ZoFine Festival. Now, one thing you mentioned earlier, you were saying how you were like nervous and like seeing all this stuff come to pass and like coming to fruition. Like, was it hard or what? What were you nervous about? Because it looks like you guys want a production that's a hit.
So, just to put it out there for anybody who is thinking of organizing something that they have a passion behind, there's a business aspect to it, and numbers, they behave a lot differently than your passion. So when you're on the business side of things, you can worry about that. You know, you can sit there and start stressing and sweating about everything that's gonna happen on the business side. But at the end of the day, what ZoFine was intended to be, if y'all could get a chance to see this, I don't know if y'all will somewhere, you'll see that this was the intent for people to be in a community for discussion around mental health, and it's through music, and it's beautiful. So at the end of the day, once you stop thinking about the numbers and you start looking at the actual intention, I mean, it's working. So.
And so you are an artist. Is it what genre? Can you put you in the genre? You rap? What is it?
See, now you got the business mind, you got the artist mind. The artist would say, you can't put me in a category, business minded. You will put me in like a conscious category. You might put me in now that I have the band, now that I'm with a band, you can put me in an R&B and soul category because depending on the instruments so I rap. I definitely rap, and I do some singing. You'll see that when I go up on stage. So I learned that a melodic aspect to music is very attractive. It attracts all realms of life, old school, new school, and then I love to spit bars because I am a rapper through and through. But I love all types of music, and I really want to be able to touch on all types of music throughout my career.
So is there a message specifically that like you use or just?
So I love empowerment. I love how I am in my regular life outside of music. I'm always trying to challenge myself and move to a higher level, and I challenge myself to be disciplined, to eat right, to treat people how I want to be treated, and I try to deliver that in a message and music. without it being as corny as possible. It has to still be music. It still has to be music. So that's my goal, you know.
As far as performances, like, are you? Is this the beginning stages for you to do performances? And if so, how did you start doing performances?
Okay. I remember my first performance. I think third grade. I had a solo, and it was a singing solo in third grade. And this is before I even had an idea of writing music or anything. But I remember being super excited. And then something happened where we were like, we could vote on going to, I think, the Detroit Zoo or the song. And I was super excited. I think I was the only person that raised my hand to do the performance. So that's as far back as I remember. And we ended up going to the zoo. So then maybe a church performance, I think in high school. And that was where my first performance where I wrote my lyrics and then performed for the church. And then 2014, I got it in with Nate Variety. I think y'all interviewed him. So that I performed with him 2014. And ever since then, just ramping it up and making the whole thing just take off. Yeah.
And so, if you could perform with any upcoming artist, local, celebrity, who would be like your top 3 artists you would want to collab with?
That is an insane question. Because I'm meeting people here. And I'm like, I've never heard you before. I don't know you, but I hear something through them. Like, I can just, I'm going to do what most people do, out of sight, out of mind. So if you're in front of me, what have you done for me lately? So I'll talk about some of the artists here. What was his name? Billy Shake. I loved his message. Billy Shakes. Yeah, I would love to do something with Billy. Who haven't I worked with that's already here? I don't have nothing with Mike Jack. He's on right now. I'd love to do something with Mike Jack. His energy is infectious, and I really love that. And then one of my other brothers that's over here, Joseph Blue. I don't know if y'all interviewed Joseph Blue. But yeah, so that's another one. We have like ideas that we haven't done yet. So yeah, so these up and coming artists that are right in here, and I have like my muses, the Lupe Fiascos, and like these Far Out Dreams, Commons, Kanye type stuff. And I mean, that stuff is possible. So yeah.
And so, this is a mental health awareness that we're doing here. And you've been a part of it, you said, for 4 years. And so, what connects you to, like, how did you get associated with something like this? Or have you ever gone through mental health?
I mean, it's like I liken this to when people say, I'm on a diet. You always on a diet. Like it just depends on, right. That's your living. Whatever you eating is your diet. So when people don't address their mental health, they're just not aware that your mental health is something that you're constantly a part of, whether you choose to engage or not. So as we got here, as I came to the living room and, they said, we got this thing we do called ZoFine and mental health. And I was like, yeah, these are my people. This is what I need to be a part of. And yes, I go through all types of stuff. I heard somebody hop on stage and they were like, I think it was Ellie San Diego. She had a great performance. And she said, if you help out too much, you lend too much. I have that tendency. I want to help people all the time. And right. And it's like, I haven't noticed that is right. And that's not always the healthiest thing. So, just noticing things about myself and trying to be more present with myself. And that's been a journey for me the past 4 years. So, yep. Right over here.
Yeah, I wanted to touch back when Toy asked you about like who you want to perform with, and I admire the fact that you named a lot of local artists, and so you were born and raised in Detroit, and so I wanted to ask you, you as you enter into your creative space and into hip hop, who were your influences, and how would you best describe your style of music?
So to clarify, I was born in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, Dallas, Texas, because, if they go Google me or something, like, he a liar. No. So let me go ahead and clarify. Yeah. And I was raised between Detroit most of my time and then Chicago, Illinois. So that's home as well. I actually just switched my ID over. So as far as influences, like I remember like music when I was coming up, it was very gangster, it was very hard. And I didn't see myself in the industry. I didn't see a place for me. And then things started to shift and it became mainstream. I felt like it went back to the 80s. It went back to where people had a message and people were actually liking what people had to say. So as I call it, it was the great softening of music because I wasn't a gangster and I knew that. And I have this integrity about myself where I'm like not about to get up there and say anything for $1. So I know that I have like, maybe a peak in the industry. But if not, since this righteous golden era of music is heightening, who knows? The sky is the limit. So I grew up on the stuff that was on the radio first, like a lot of down south music first. My cousin Hawkster, what's up? Project Pat, a lot of Southern people, Outkast, 3 6 Mafia, and then hearing that sound first, that was just what I was hearing. Then as I figured out I was interested in music, it was what was on the radio. It was Ludacris, it was T.I., and then I started to hear Kanye was coming out, and he had a different message, and then right, and it showed me that I could be something else, and still, because that was representation. He introduced me to Lupe Fiasco because he had a song with him. I found out about Common Sense, and all these more conscious, rappers came to the forefront. So those were my influences. I was like, yeah, I don't want to sell drugs on the track. I don't want to do that to my people. You know what I'm saying? So like, I felt like I can be just as hard and with the bars. I can spit and I can spit with the best. I can spit with the best of them now. It don't matter what we talking about. But I just wanted to deliver a message to people. That was something of substance. Sorry, I don't know which way it's going. Right.
Well, I want just to follow up with that. I like the fact that you are comfortable being in your lane. There was an era where people, trap music, gangster music was coming out, in the 2000s and the 90s, and so, but you found your space. So I wanted to ask you, so what is your creative process? How do you write your music? I'm assuming you write your music. Yeah. Do you do your beats, or does somebody sing you beats? How does that work for you?
So that's a great question, actually. I have a couple different ways that I attack it. So sometimes being in the live room, we'll go through like an impromptu, let's just do something, y'all. So we hop in there. There's a subject. We take 2 hours, start writing on it, and then we record down what we can record. And then we'll come back and perfect it, maybe a couple weeks later after we've rehearsed over that stuff. And those are really cool because they force me to be creative. You can force creativity and then figure out if it's of something that you want to keep later. How I naturally have written, how I came up writing, it was without a beat. I didn't have beats or anything like that. I didn't have music because I'm not a musician. So that's why I used to call it poetry. And I had my life would, inspire me to write some type of lyrics. And I take bits and pieces out of life to make people feel, what it is and try to relate to people, because it's not a diary. It's not for the diary. It is still for people. People got to hear it and they got to relate to it and feel it. So, or sometimes I can get sent a beat and then like maybe the beat is named something and it has that same feel. So maybe it's like they send a beat, it's sultry and it's called Beautiful Sky. And then that kind of gives me an idea of what to write on, that type of thing.
Has anybody ever sent you a beat that you maybe wrote something without a beat, but he was like, man, that goes with that song? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That has absolutely happened to me through some of the networks and resources that I met here at the live room. I had songs where, it's the industry. Some things don't clear. Sometimes the producer disappears. Sometimes you don't get stuff. So I've had songs that I had to kind of like, kind of make it fit into something else. So I've definitely done that where it's just like, oh, let's see if this works on this beat. Let's see if this works with this type of vibe. Sometimes the vibe changes up completely. So, yeah.
I'm interested because you said the live room, and someone else mentioned that before. So it's in a sense like a community. What is something you can tell people where they can connect with the live room? Like, is there resources? Do they come with like a band? Do they come with like, I don't know, beats? Like, what is it?
So the Living Room is LIVEINGROOM. So this place it's like a safe haven for musicians. That's kind of what I've realized. Like when I lived out of the state for a while, I came back in 2018, and I'm sitting in here living on the couch for like a couple months, But I was sleeping on the couch up in here for a while. This is it. This is the Living Room. Yep, this is the venue. It's a certified venue. The Living Room, right off of East Grand Boulevard. Yep. And we usually, for a while, we go through things, but we had sessions where instrumentalists would just come in here, musicians would come, and we'll just have a live at 5, a jam session on Mondays. Yeah. So that's typically on Mondays. Things have changed around. I feel they'll get back to it soon. But that's why I say it's a safe haven for artists. And people come through here. We've introduced people. They come through. They become family. They get resources. So much network up in this place. So much network. Yeah.
Why I just want to thank you. I'm like I said, I've been honored to be a part of here. You guys have truly blessed and touched my soul with all that you do. I'm hoping that you people go ahead and reach out to the live room, look that up because this is definitely, like he said, a safe haven. So you go ahead and let them know what your platform is, what your handles are, where we can stream your music. And he has a performance coming up later. We cannot wait for it.
So my name is McKaye Deezer, stage name, real name, rap name, McCreadeezer. I'm the only one out there. I made sure because I had a whole book with a potential stage name, so I made sure it was the only one. Yeah, right. So don't worry, there'll be others. With a real Slim Shady, please stand up. So you catch me on socials with that name. Again, McKaye Deezer, McCreadeezer. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. Anywhere that you stream your music. I got a couple songs out. Got some things coming. All the platforms. You catch me on Twitter. I probably ain't gonna talk to you on there because I don't be on there like that. Instagram, I'm mainly on there. And got performances, bigger things to come, more creativity, more artwork, more beautiful stuff. Bless y'all.
All right. Well, we want to give just a round of applause and thank McKaye Deezer. So definitely. So make sure you check out. He gave you his Instagram, how you can get in touch, get his music, YouTube. You said Spotify too, right? Spotify, all of it. Check out his music. So we're excited. And then if you're interested in connecting with the Live In Room, right? Live In Room. If you're an artist, you're a creative, and you're looking for a safe space just to connect with people and just be creative and collab. Great things happen when you connect with people in collaboration, and that's where you can get better and work out your art. So we want to thank you again, man. Give you another shout out, and thanks again for being on our show. All right. We're excited all day. We've been at the ZoFine Music Festival, just taking in some great artists, great performances. And the theme of this festival is mental health. Are you doing good? I hope you are doing good. So it's important to take care of yourself, invest in yourself, do some self care. So we've been here all day featuring the performers at the festival, and our next guest, he's been like the facilitator, the MC, the host, making us hype, introducing the artist. He's an artist himself. He does other things in the field of mentoring, coaching. So I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. He's going to tell a little bit about himself and what he's doing in his creative journey and how he's connected to the ZoFine Music Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Boyce the Third.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me on. So, a little bit about myself. I am a human being. uh, here contributing energy to my friends festival. They brought me in to do the job of the MC, so I'm the host for the day. I have a set tomorrow. We put together some panels. So today is the music day. So today we've had music all day, and tomorrow we have panels on substance use. We have panels on mental health. We have panels on emotional wellness tomorrow, and I'll have a set tomorrow as well. So all good stuff. All good stuff. I do quite a bit. I have my own podcast. It's called You Feel That with Bryce the Third, the best podcast there is for aspiring change makers looking to learn how to master their emotions. And you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. And
And I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. Get the mic. And so you said this is your third year being a part of this amazing event. And so we are dealing with mental health. And so in your field, you teach mentorship, like you do like life coaching. Is that to say you do like some sort of like life coaching? Life coaching, speaking.
So I wouldn't say life coaching. I would say basically what I do is I just teach what it is that I've been able to apply in my life, right? So it's important for me to be able to help people shortcut the process that I've traversed. So I've gone through quite a bit. So I'm a person in recovery from substance use and alcoholism. My sobriety date is 7/27/2013. I just hit 9 years, and I'm actually here. Thank you. And so part of what the proceeds from this festival is going to is a nonprofit that I work with called the Phoenix. And what the Phoenix does is create sober, active community for people in recovery from substance use and alcoholism. We do things like kayaking, biking, rock climbing, mountain biking. We took 50 people to a Pistons game. We just took 30 people to a Detroit City Football Club, our soccer team. We took 30 people to that game. And everything we do is free to anybody with just 48 hours of sobriety. So it's very important that I'm here, and it's very important that we talk and we have this conversation out loud, so we can destigmatize some of the shame that may come along with dealing with these things. Yeah.
And so I also saw that you are an author. Could you tell us about your book?
Yeah, so my book, you can get it on Amazon. It's called The Handbook by Bryce the Third. It's the handbook, your guide to creating your desired reality and being a good human while you're at it. And the reason I created this book was because there's a lot of personal development books, but they can tend to kind of wean either into the, go and make it happen, or the, be spiritual and let it all go. And for me, like I'm goal driven as well as I'm a spiritual person. So I didn't find too many spaces where there was that intersection where it's like, yes, be driven, but also learn how to have compassion and understanding for your process of unfolding. So I wanted to create a book that allowed people to tap into some of that drive, but also give themselves compassion in their journey that allows for them to show up and be well. Because sometimes we can feel like in order for me to be where it is that I want to go, I'm going to have to sacrifice my wellness. But in all actuality, we can build our well-being into our success. So for instance, like this festival, right? So before this, I was down at the Celebrate Recovery, because this month is recovery month, as well as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And so they had the Celebrate Recovery Walk and Rally on Belle Isle. So before I came here, I was out there doing an outreach, as well as I had a speaking engagement there. Before that, I did group, and then after that, I came here. When I came here, I'm supposed to host, right? But because I've built a community of friends who understand what it's like to take care of yourself, when I got here, they like, here, go to room, take a nap. So they let me take a nap. Somebody held the mic down for about 30 minutes before I got my nap in, and I came out, and then I was able to proceed with my duties. So it's like, build your well-being into your success. It doesn't look like I have to burn myself out. We can build what we need to take care of ourselves into the way that we want to build our success.
I love that you are definitely hitting the nail on the head and giving some pointers about, for so long, you have the strong person. For so long, you have people that are putting together even events, or you have the community leaders, or you have people that are the movers and the shakers, and nobody's checking on them. Nobody's saying like, are you good? Did you take a nap? Did you eat today? Like, we're just supposed to work. And yes, we love what we do. Like, we love helping and pulling someone up, but it's time for us to learn our own mental well-being and our own self-care. So I love that. And so when it comes to your music, is there a message in your music for like your audience?
So my music has always been an outlet. If it wasn't for my music, I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing now. Yeah, it's cathartic. And if you have a conversation with me 9 times out of 10, that'll give you an idea of what the music sounds like. Yeah. So to be able to come to events like this where those two things intersect, where everybody who's hit the stage tonight has had a story that has led them to the stage, and they've built a way to be able to communicate that story to the audience through their music, and also through talk between songs. Like, this is the perfect environment for this type of energy, and I just love stuff like this.
And so, I have someone special in our midst right now, and I really want you to zone in on the audience of people going through mental issues, and you touching on the community, or if there's upcoming events that's going on, or how could they connect? Like, what is out there for them? Because some of them, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to go, and it seems like you guys have built this sense of community.
Well, first and foremost, I would tell you, you're not alone. It may feel like we're alone, but we're not as alone as we think we are. And I think one of the first times that I realized that I wasn't terminally unique was when somebody shared their story, and it sounded like they were sharing my story out of their mouth. And then that let me know, like, oh, I'm not the only one going through what it is that I'm going through. So what I would say is, get outside of your comfort zone. Pick up that phone. That phone will feel like it's 100 pounds. Go places where there are people that you have never met, and be willing to connect. And in those new connections, make sure that you're building relationships with people that represent your future and not your past. You want to get around people that have what it is that you desire to have, that are living the way that you desire to live. And just like when you go to a barbershop so many times, you're going to get a haircut. That's what's going to end up happening. But we can't expect to pull out juice from a dried fruit. So we got to get around some of that juicy fruit, if you know what I'm saying. So that would be what I would say. Learn to get out your comfort zone. And I think the most important thing that we could ever do is have compassion and understanding for our process. This is a process of unfolding. So show up for yourself on a daily basis. Whatever it is that you're going through is exactly what you're going through. Get rid of the supposed tos and stop shitting on yourself. Whatever you're going through is what you're going through. So let's learn how to show up for what it is that we're going through and meet ourselves there. And the more we feed into ourselves and pour into our cup, the more overflow we can give to the rest of the people in the world.
Let us know your handles. Where can we find you? Where can they reach you? Any websites, any businesses, any links? Let them know where they can, tap in and support.
Best places to reach me is probably on Instagram at Bryce the Third, and on TikTok I'm at Bryce the Third. You can also go to brycethethird.com, and if you want to listen to my podcast, you can go to You Feel That with Bryce the Third on Spotify. And every Tuesday we drop a new episode. Yeah. So my podcast, once again, it was that intersection of entrepreneurship, change making, getting out into the community, and well being that I didn't see a lot of people talking about. It was either drive and go, or it was either like just take care of yourself and let everything. And I wanted a space where people could come. We can get people like Grant Cardone or Eric Thomas, or people in the community like doing this work, and really like not zone in as much on the work, but zone in on what you're doing to take care of yourself as you continue to build this stuff out. Yeah. So come on up. We need you on the show. We need you on the show. But yeah, it's definitely a space where you can come and pick up tools from the greats that the people are applying in their lives to be able to show up for what it is that they've been called to do.
Man, I really enjoying this conversation. Very informative. I like what you're doing in the community with the podcast. I like that you're a part of this community here with the Live in Room and the ZoFine Festival. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your artistry and what you do in music. How would you define your music, and what are your source of inspiration, or who has inspired you in terms of your creative work currently?
I would describe my art as raw, open, transparent, honest, and I have inspirations like that are people. Your Andre 3000s, your Kanye Wests. Here in the city, I tend to gravitate towards the people that are here. Ober Roland, Chad Roto, my guy Nappy Debbie, he here tonight. It's a lot of people in the city that I really gravitate towards. But I'm also like, the sunrise and the sunset community, sitting here and having conversation with you all and hearing you say, oh, you speaking to me, in those conversations. I always, and I might get a little heat for this, but when I was young, I didn't really understand why I didn't understand Tupac, and I didn't really like Tupac. And that's because every song I would hear seemed like it was something different. Either this song it was Hit 'Em Up, or this song it was Brenda Got a Baby, or this song it was, and sometimes you hear him talk about kids, and it's like, wait, you don't got no kid, and it would confuse me. But the more experience I've had in the community, the more I realized how much of a poet he was, and how much experience he had rubbing shoulders with people, hearing everybody's story, and being able to use his art to communicate and channel the experiences that he's seen in the community. So just being here and having conversations with you all inspires my artistry. Yeah.
Well, do you have any other announcements or anything you'd like to share before we wrap things up? Yeah.
Always got something going on. The best way to keep up with me is to go to @Bryce3rd on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook too. On Facebook, it lets you put the events on Facebook so you can see like my most recent event. We are in September now. I have a show out in Denver, Colorado at the end of this month. Next month, October 30th, I'll be the featured artist at Sound Off Sundays. Ken Brass, it's a legendary open mic in the city. If you in Detroit and you've never been to Sound Off Sundays with Ken Brass, I don't know what you're doing. Bro, been putting on for the city for forever. It's been featured on Vice, on Vice, the Vice network, and so yeah. But I'll be the featured artist at Sound Off Sunday, October 30th, 2022, and that's about the closest thing that I got going on to this airing.
So I definitely want to thank you for what you're doing in the community. Thank you for being here, facilitating this event. I'm gonna definitely make sure I subscribe to your podcast and check that out. So man, thank you again for just being on our show and being a part of this great event. All right, man. Take care. All right. All right. So we're excited because we had the privilege, the opportunity to be invited to interview artists, performers, curators, DJs here in the city of Detroit. Some people are from Chicago. I met somebody from LA actually that we had on today's show, and so we're excited to be here. Our next guests, they are a part of this festival. One of them no, both of them just got off stage and performed. A great performance, very soulful music. I was trying to jam while I was interviewing somebody else, and it was just very grateful music. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is Mike, Jack, and Will. Is it just Will? Okay, at Will. So we're gonna have them introduce themselves, tell them a little bit about themselves. They're gonna show about how they're connected with this festival.
What's up, everybody? My name is Will Daniels of At Will Enterprise. I'm the musical director, drummer, and the owner of At Will Enterprise. And luckily enough, I was privileged enough to join Mike Jack on stage. I'm also one of the coordinators and the musical director for ZoFine Festival, both Saturday and Sunday.
I'm Mike Jack, husband, father, son, brother, then rapper, songwriter, producer, straight from Detroit. And I just had the pleasure of getting Will's permission to go up here and run a set with him. I co-headline for him. He let me do a long set today, and we went even longer than what we originally planned. So I appreciate you, Will. So thank you.
I am Chop Goddess Toy Marie, and I am so honored to be here among you guys. Your performance was amazing. And so, what is some inspiration for your music?
I've always taken inspiration from rappers and musicians that tell stories and can relate to people. So one of my favorite rappers of all time is Lupe Fiasco. I always love his lyricism, his way to do metaphors. And then I grew up listening to like Biggie, listening to Pac, listening to Prince. My name is Michael Jackson, by the way. That's why my name is Mike Jack. I'm named after my father, not after Michael Jackson. But so that's all I used to listen to growing up is Mike, Prince, all type of alternative stuff. So whenever I make music now, I like to try to incorporate everything in all my albums and all my performances. So if when y'all see this performance, you'll see I started off with some hyper stuff, but then I grab a stool and I sit down and just tell a story about what's going on. So that's basically where I get my stuff from. I know where you get your inspiration from.
I'm kind of curious to see what you thought it was. So if I say it, let me know. So yeah, my inspiration comes from the great musical directors such as Questlove from The Roots, Adam Blackstone from Basic Black Entertainment, and just multiple others going back to the jazz days, Tony Allen, all them cats. But yeah, I really just get my inspiration from people like Mike Jack and people out here working every day and grinding to be better every single day.
Now, when you guys are creating, because you're on so many different elements when it comes to the music industry, you guys do a lot. So what is your creative process when you're creating a song?
Mine's is pretty simple. I feel like something. Like I'll wake up and just have a mood, and then I'll do two things. I'll either go on YouTube and just search for like instrumentals that fit that, or I'll call one of my friends. And this is one of the best things about meeting people, going outside. I know a lot of people kind of fall off and don't appreciate the actual meeting people in person anymore. They just want to put stuff on the internet, email each other. I like meeting people, talking to them face to face. So once I've created those relationships with guys that I respect, I'll just call them and text them, hey, can you come over here? Let's try to work on something. This is how I'm feeling. And maybe I'll send them like a beat or something that's like, can you do something like this in this vein? And then I'll just write from there. Like the writing just comes out. And then I keep a list, like a phone full of just words and hooks that I don't even have a song to, just something that I want. I could be like, this will go great with that, and this is what I'm feeling like today, so this is what I want to record. Because if I don't feel that mood when I record it, it won't sound as authentic as it would be, when I'm in the mood.
Yeah, so my creative process is slightly different because I mostly work on the arrangement side. So I usually will listen to the song. I'll talk to the artist. I'll kind of get their vision and what they want and the emotion they're trying to evoke, and then I really just bring it to the musicians. I have a basic form in mind, and then from there, I kind of just tap in with everybody's creative side, and I try to make it more of a collective process. So, depending on who we have on keys, depending on who we have on bass, guitar, all that, depending who the vocalist is and how they move, kind of determines the arrangement that I'm gonna come up with, and then the event. So today's all about mental health and all that. So I want to make sure that each song is meaningful and hits in a certain way and reflects a different part of mental health. So yeah.
I want to say I was listening to you guys performing today, and I heard a lot of soulful, like R&B and hip hop. So I was curious for both of you guys, like what did you guys growing up listening to, and who was your major influences, and how would you guys define your style?
Yeah, I grew up like George Clinton. Like there's a lot of that type of stuff in my house. My granddad was a big blues guy, so we listened to a lot of ZZ Top in the house. Yeah, so I always had a lot of instrumentation in my life growing up. And then, like I said, my mom's like the biggest Prince fan of all time, so that's all we listened to. And Michael, like the records. I remember back when we had records in the house and just playing them and letting them go. And then my first like introduction to rap was probably like Ice Cube or something. And then you listen to songs like that, and I'm like, I can't believe I was singing this stuff when I was like 10. Yeah, no. It was like we be clubbing or something. Like, what's going on? But yeah, and then once I start realizing like rappers can actually talk about stuff like Tupac. That's when I was like, oh my god, Brenda's got a baby. Like this song played on the radio, and it's about what it's about. And I'm like, this is crazy. So that's really what I started getting my inspiration from. I started instrumentals, and then started moving my way up to appreciating lyrics.
Yeah, a lot of my early inspirations actually started in just the classics, the jazz classics. And then I discovered Jimi Hendrix when I was about 10 years old. I was in a rock band at the time. And yeah, he actually inspired the hair and all that stuff, just the whole be different, do the style the way you want to do it while paying homage to those who came before. So yeah, it was really just a lot of my inspiration, a lot of my creativity came from those who came before, and just pushing that envelope, learning all the rules so you know how to break them. Yeah.
So what's next? Any live performance coming up that you guys have going on?
For me, I'm gonna be at UMaCon next in October. I think that's on Halloween. I might have something before that though. We might have an at will date before that too. But so UMaCon's like an anime convention, right? So that's another thing that I'm really into. Yeah, yep. So it's downtown. Yep. And so it's all about like comic books, anime, video games, and so that's like a genre of hip hop that I started dabbling in too, making songs about that type of stuff. So they've had me out the last 2 years. This will be the third year, and then like I said, maybe we'll be at the Willis Show Bar, and that's like a great vibe. I love performing there. That's Will's spot. So and he's there every weekend. So Willis is on Third and Willis.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. So Willis Show Bar is a historic show bar in Cats Corridor, aka Midtown. For those who are new to the city, and basically, I'm there every Friday and Saturday. If I'm not there, then most of the time I'm responsible for the musical direction at Willis Show Bar. So tonight we actually have a performer there with the At Will band as well. Yep, tonight. So I got little doppelgangers everywhere. So yeah, but yeah, so you can catch a lot of the artists and a lot of the musicians that I perform with at Willis Show Bar. my vision there is really to expose everybody to the art in the city. Motown, the company might have left, but the soul and what it meant is still here. So, absolutely.
So what are some of the acts that are usually there?
Yeah, so we have a lot of times we'll have Reedy Troy, who's an amazing vocalist. Definitely one of the singers of the city, not the singers, but the singers of the city. She covers everything from Beyonce to Whitney to all the classics. Then we have Alex Zist, who is such a vibe, such a neo soul vibe, very Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, that type of vibe. We have Terry Shue, who's actually Motown legacy. We have hip hop acts such as Nappy Debbie and Mike Jack and Hugo Biggs. So it's definitely a variety, but we try to keep it current and what's going on, and give you that old school feel with them new school artists. So yeah.
The best part is they dedicate certain nights every weekend. So they have a Justin Timberlake night, they have a Michael Jackson night, they'll have a yep. So so all you got to do is look at the list, and that's what I want to hear. And they gon' swag it out. It's so good. Yep.
Yeah, so you can find all the at will dates, including the ones with Mike Jack, on my Instagram at Will Enterprise, and we have a schedule. I try to put together a schedule each month with all the dates, including this one, so you can always find out where the at will crew is and where all the dope people are going to be at. Hashtag go with the fro.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, before we wrap up, is any first we want to make sure everybody knows how to get. I know you just shared your information. Make sure you share your handles with our audience, and if there's any announcements or any upcoming events you want to share.
At Mike Jack Raps everywhere. MICJACK Raps. My wife was like, "You gotta make it simple, Mike." So everything's the same everywhere you go. And then, so like I said, we're gonna be at UMaCon on Halloween. We're gonna have a show at Willis Show Bar one of these days. We're gonna have some projects dropping. So my stuff be so spontaneous. I never know what I'm doing. I just performed last weekend randomly at my old alma mater, Marygrove College. So if I got anything, it goes up on my Instagram. So
And besides the Willis dates that you can always go and find, we do have a very, very cool event at the end of the month called A Taste of Black Spirits. We'll be at the Garden Theater on September 30th. And that's a celebration of all black-owned companies that have spirits, everything from Lobos, which is LeBron James, to Kevin Hart's New Tequila, to Snoop Dogg's Gin, so this is an event on September 30th. It's a series. Yep. So we're the Garden Theater. We'll be at the Garden Theater. Yep. And yep, we're partnered with Taste of Black Spirits and a bunch of spirit companies, as well as Young Village and some other sponsors will be there. I believe Meyer and Pronghorn are also sponsors. So yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we just want to thank both of you guys, Mike Jack at Will, for being on our podcast. Thank you for your contribution to this festival. Yes, I appreciate that. Wish you continued success. Yes, and I want to encourage everybody who's going to watch this on the playback. Follow these guys, get involved. A lot of events. This brother right here is coordinating a lot of things at the what is it, the Willis Bar? Yeah, and that's Thursday and Friday, Friday and Saturday. So if you right. So this guy, this is the Detroit Metro plug, but this guy's the plug. So he's the plug. So he's making things happening. So I definitely want to check out. I want to go to that Willis Bar one of these Friday or Saturday and check out some nice music. Yeah, yep. So thank you guys again for being on the podcast. Yeah. All right. I'm excited. We've been here all day live at the ZoFine Music Festival. Yay! Yes. Yeah, so we've been here all day. The theme of this festival is mental health. And we want to make sure you're doing good and hopefully you're taking care of yourself, doing some self-care. But I'm excited. We've been had the opportunity to interview a lot of the artists, those who are involved in this festival. And our next guest, what's special about him? He's a DJ. He's a graphic designer. He got some merch that's out, that's available, and so we're gonna let him talk a little bit about himself, how he's connected with the ZoFine Music Festival, and his journey and his artistic journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our next guest, Lost Boy.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, so my name is Lost Boy. I am from Detroit, Michigan. Been DJing for about 4 years, graphic design for forever, since high school. And so I'm connected with ZoFine because me and Mirage, we used to do music like years ago, like, back in the basement of my house. And she just one day was just like, hey, you should start doing like festivals and like start doing shows, because I was very timid when I first started DJing. And even like me getting into DJing was like through a friend in college. And I would how like your friends may have some creative outlet, and like you kind of not backseat like create, but like you'll give them like advice or like ideas. And like I had a lot of friends who were into music and production, and they would be making beats or they would be putting together playlists. And then I would be watching them put together a playlist, and I would go like, oh, you should take this song and then like add yeah. So then I would like ask them like, oh, like you should take the tail end of this song and then put it towards like the beginning of this track, and like whatever. And one day my friend Matt was just like, you should probably do this yourself. And then I was just like, no way. And literally on my birthday is September 24th, and literally, yeah, Libra. Yep. So like the day of my birthday, I think one of his friends kind of like bought this DJ equipment, didn't know how to use it, and was just like, I give up, don't know how to use it, so I'm done with it. He ends up buying the equipment off of his friend and just gave it to me as a birthday gift, and was just like, here, I want you to learn how to DJ. Like, I feel like this is your calling. And literally that year is when I started DJing. It was like I want to say this is like 2015. And yeah, he was just like, dude, take all of this equipment. It was a Newmark Pro 2 and some small speakers, a little I forgot what type of laptop, but it was just like, a janky little laptop. And we're just like, practice. I want to see you become a DJ. And yeah, like Matt he really pushed for me to become a DJ. So, and that's kind of how Lost Boy got started. And from there, it was just kind of me just being creative and, putting together different mixes and stuff.
I think we have to pause. Okay, they said they need you, so we're gonna pick back up. Okay, okay, we'll pick back up.
Oh.
They're calling you.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Hey, we're back with Lost Boy. He had to take a quick break to DJ. So I think we're in the middle. We were talking about your graphic design. I'm not sure. Yeah. So yeah. So tell us a little about how you got in the merch business and how you come with your designs, and show us your products.
So yeah, like I said, I've been doing graphic design for like since high school. So like these are like a sticker pack that I made. That's it. Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah, we put them on. I put them on the back of my phone, everything. And I made friends with some people at Simplified, and like that's where I get my shirts printed. They give me like a really good discount on shirts and stuff. So, oh yeah. So Simplified out near Buffiat Street, right behind Spotlight, the club Spotlight. Yeah, man, like I've been DJing for close to 5 years now. I do a mix of house, EDM, trap, hip hop. Like I like to blend a lot of genres. I like to play around with music, and yeah, like I said, like my friend got me into it, and ever since it's just been like upward. So it's been like really cool. Before the before the lockdown, I was like traveling and just like going different places. The one festival that's on my list is Movement. So yeah, I'm saying it. I've been there, but I haven't played it. So that is on my list. I am putting that out. Yes, I am putting that out into the universe that this time next year I'm going to be DJing at Movement. So yeah, like I am going to be DJing at Movement. So it's like, ooh, it's a lot. So Curtis Roach, he's a really dope artist. Damasio, Suppy, Moses, Tiny Jag, Sky Jetta. Oh my God, like the list is like I literally have a full list at home of like artists that I want to just like, because I want to get more into production. Okay. So that's what I've been working on this year, and then next year that's what I want to have, like more placement and sync licensing to have my songs in the back of commercials and ads and all that stuff. So
it's a lot of movies like Detroit is known for a lot of Detroit is known for a lot of like the film. So like I'm in the film industry, and so they're always looking for music in a lot of these films. And so I would just say maybe like just Google search or put in a type search for Detroit films, Detroit movies, and start hitting them up and send them an inbox and saying, hey, put my music. They really want your music. They don't know where to go. So start hitting them up and messaging them. And so since you are like a DJ, I'm not sure how long you said. Did you say how long you've been? 4 years. So a lot of times the DJ is the one that gets the girls. So do you have DJs? The women love DJs. So you have any crazy stories with fans, or are they throwing themselves at you? Like, tell us what's going on with the girls.
Let's plead the fifth on that story. But no, like normally like the fan interactions aren't that like wild. I've definitely got invited to a lot of parties because I'm very inviting and stuff like that. So like it's been like random people that would just like see me in the streets and be like, hey, yeah, and like, cause like literally, so I don't know if you can see my sticker, but it's literally my side profile. So people would like, I'll just be walking and I'll do something, and then people would be like, hey, they'll bring out their phone, they're like, Lost Boy, and I'm just like, yeah, what's up? So like I've gotten invited to like random parties. I got invited to like random events. I've been able to get backstage passes to shows. What else? Like I said, like the stories are crazy, but like that would be an off camera storyteller, you know? Yeah.
So the name Lost Boys, how did you come up with that name? What was the inspiration behind it? Did you think of
So
Lost Boys, the movie?
so actually it ties into it, but so like for those who are watching, if there are any anime fans out there, there's an anime called My Hero Academia, and there's a character named Deku. He gets his nickname through like a bully who kind of mocks him, and that's where the term Lost Boy comes from. Like I was very bad with like GPS directions. So anytime I had to drive somewhere or I was the one that had to meet up with friend, it would be like, oh, Lost Boy's driving, so we got to wait an extra like 30 minutes for him to get here. So that's kind of like, it was a joke that kind of like it stuck. And then I was just like, no, I like it. But then like as time progressed, like I'm very into polysemies, which are words or phrases that have multiple meanings. And then like I kind of like redefined it. Yeah. So like I was able to flip it into like a multitude of things. So like instead of saying Lost Boy, I would say follow the broken compass. Or like, instead of saying stay lost, I would say follow the broken compass. We have what's the other one? It's just like different. It's like just different, different word plays of Lost Boy, and then even with the word, like even with the name itself, like I I like to create worlds. So then I wanted people to. I didn't want it to be just a name. I wanted it to be like this phrase that people could like identify with. So then it was like I would tell stories about like this made up character and just like taking real life events and then making these exaggerated adventures out of it. So it was like I like to have fun with it. I like to play around with it. So then that way when people see me, they can also be like, okay, cool. Like I identify with that. Like it makes me feel safe. Yeah. And I also like to be honest. So it's like I think like one of the quotes that I have on my website is when you hear music and you create a music video in your head, you created a world, and that's the point of music, to create that escape. Yeah. Like another mantra that I live by is believe in me and I'll never let you down. Share my vision and we can rise to greatness together. Because just to me, I'm like I honestly don't know what I'm doing. Because literally, like I fell into DJing kind of like ass backwards. And my friend would just, my friend was like, hey, I think you can be great at this. And then I did it. And then some people say like it's just a Libra thing that you're always naturally talented. So I also think about that sometimes. Like maybe it is a Libra thing because I do a lot of stuff and I'm just good at it. But it's like a multitude of things that I'm just like, I want people to see me and then not have to have like this shield or like this this border. Like I tell like in my like on Instagram, I'll tell stories of things that happen to me, like mental states that I'm in. Because then it's just like I everyone kind of understands that like Instagram is a highlight reel. So it's like I want to kind of remove that facade of being like, hey guys, my life is great, and be like, hey, here's the highs. I'm not gonna go super low, like depressive low, but like, exactly. So it's like, I make sure that like when people follow me, that they're getting like a safe zone. So then that way, like I've had people text me, call me, and just like I set up a Discord to where like, we have conversations and we're just talking about things that happen throughout the day. And like, I'll give advice to people. And like what's cool is like just I have a really strong work ethic. So I've kind of put myself in this position to where people look up to me and they're like, hey, I'm trying to get into DJing or I'm trying to do graphics. Like, what's some advice you could give me? So it was a phrase that a friend told me that kind of like, because I like wolves. Like, wolves are like, oh my God, spirit animal, right, guys? So he told me the legs feed the wolves, which means the legs feed the wolves, which means like you have to like with your own 2 feet go out and get whatever it is that you want. Like if you are hungry, you have to go out and you got to feed yourself. So like hearing that phrase just like it just put like a fire up under me because it was just like, oh my God, like I love it. The legs feed the wolf. So like I would always tell people like, never take no for an answer. Like there's always someone that like what you like. Um, Closed mouths don't get fed. So like, be extroverted. Have that anchor that if you feel nervous going to a party, bring that friend that you can be like, all right, you stand here, I'm about to go work the room. And then when you feel awkward or when you like, kind of like feel timid, you can run back to them and then like, build yourself back up. Yeah. So it's like all sorts of stuff. These are things that I've done like like I always put in the phrase of the Rugrats, the episode where Chucky was like, "Oh, I wish I was never born," and then Tommy ends up finding out. I mean, Chucky ends up finding out that he was the reason why Tommy was so brave. Like I always put it in that aspect of like find your Chucky Finster to your Tommy Pickles, where like you can be brave because this person is here with you, and then go out and like talk to people and just be extroverted. But but yeah, like oh my god, yeah, it's so many. I could go on for hours. It's so many different. It's just so many things that I've learned. Yeah, yeah.
Where can they purchase your merch?
So everything that you ever see by me is made by me. So website, designs, graphics, the merch. You can find it all at staylostkid.com. Staylostkid.com. Also my Instagram handle is staylostkid. Um, yeah, like I'm proud of myself that I made this website, by the way. Like, oh my god, like I nerded out for like hours because I was like, I really want to know how to do this, and it also applies to the whole like world building aspect. Yeah, like I have friends who are into like videography and photography. So like literally, it's videos that we upload to the website, just like different photo shoots and stuff like that. So it's just really fun having people who are also creative, and then like able to like run to each other and go like, oh my god, I got this idea, let's do this. So it's super fun. It's super fun.
Because you are doing so much and you're in so many areas, how do you get burnt out, or how do you unwind? How do you focus on your mental health when you're doing so much creating?
Okay, so this is something that I just recently experienced because I always heard about people getting burnt out, but I never really knew what that looked like. I never really knew what that felt like. But like something that I've learned is like you got to have your blackout days where you just cut your phone off, get away from the internet, especially getting away from the internet. That's like super important. Like you have to have your days where you just don't get on Instagram, don't get on Twitter, because I feel like that's where the mental stress really comes from. Is like that social media, like yeah, like never. Like I always tell people, never look at your phone when you first wake up, because I even if it's not even if it doesn't have anything to do with you directly, just looking at your phone, like you might stumble across something that stresses you out or pisses you off. So like I always tell people, do not look at your phone when you wake up. If like give it like if you wake up at, let's say you wake up at 10 o'clock, give it to like 12:30 before you look at your phone, because it
Prepare.
so then because it helps out so much. But yeah, like as far as the burnout, like I take like a day off. I take Sunday off, Sunday or Monday off. I just cut my phone off. I don't even get it on my laptop. I literally sit out on my patio and I kind of meditate. I don't really know how to meditate correctly, but I just kind of close my eyes and yeah, like I just kind of stare at the sky and just think in my head about just random stuff. And then, like I said, it was recently that I felt burnt out. Like before this week happened, I was just sitting there like, am I really working this hard? Do I really want this? Like, am I doing the proper things? Am I meeting the right people? So it was like a weird mental state of like, am I messing up? Am I like self-sabotaging myself? So it's like burnout is a burnout is a very weird like mentality. So yeah, definitely get off your phone. Don't get on it for like 2 hours when you wake up. So
All right. So I want to thank you again as we wrap up. Yes. Yes. To speak to. Yes, yes, yes. As we wrap things up, um, just one more last question. So there's people gonna watch this who may be inspired to do what you do as far as DJing, and what quick advice you can give them as you wrap things up.
So to any future DJs out there, learn how to DJ without sync. Make sure you invest in yourself. Make sure that you get into this game believing in yourself wholeheartedly. Don't depend on anyone to do anything for you. Like I said, it's the legs that feed the wolves. You have to do this yourself. There is no one that's really going to help you. Uh, Make sure that you stay level-headed. Understand that not everything that happens to you is a personal attack. I learned it was a word that I learned. It's sonder, and it means that there are like everyone that you run into, they're living their life in their own perspective, in their own perceived way. So it may be someone might walk past you and you think like, oh my god, that person just ignored me, but something may have just happened to them like 10 minutes ago and they're just zoned out and not paying attention to their surroundings. So like definitely make sure you understand that, like, not everything that happens to you is a personal attack. Stay level-headed. um Keep your confidence at an all-time high, and make sure that you are, what's the word like like not affirmative, what's the word, assertive. And make sure that you're assertive in like your ideas and your choices, and like what you want, how you want things to look, because when people understand that you are confident about this idea, or that you are confident about how you want something to go, everyone to jump on board easier than if you go like, well, I was thinking maybe we could, like, if you go like, this is what I want, like, this is how I want this show to run. When you're assertive like that, people are like, oh, okay, bet, let's go. So, yeah. So make sure, like I said, level-headed, cool, calm, collected, assertive, and create something that people would enjoy. Like let people see you. Don't be afraid to, cause I'm a dweeb. Like, I'm nerdy. I'm a dweeb. I like really weird stuff. So like every time I post something or every time I tell a story on my IG stories, people are like, why were you thinking about that? Like, what is so? It's I like to make people laugh. So it's like I feel happy knowing that just the dweeby, yeah. So it's like dweeby stuff makes people laugh. So like, don't be afraid to show your dweebiness.
All right, so thanks again. Give it up for the Lost Boy. Make sure you follow him on all the social handles. Lost Boy, right? All right, thanks. Oh, at Stay Lost Kid on IG. Okay. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Stay Lost. All right. What's it? Stay Lost. StayLostKid.com. All right, man. Thanks a lot. All right, check it.
I still refer business to you if you talented. So go on and stack your chip. My homie told me hold grudges like your blessings. That person you was mad at probably smiling while you stressing. I see true colors while you think you being tested. To the bullshit that makes you feel possessive. Stuffy, I used to fight like the old puppy. Now my middle name is Love, like the old puppy. I wish you all success, sorry that we didn't mess. More or less off my chest, I wish you niggas the best. I'm cool, you cool, we cool, okay. 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 I'm cool, you cool, we cool, okay.
So excited to be at the ZoFine Music Festival, focusing on mental health. I hope you are doing good and you're taking care of yourself and doing some self-care. So we're excited. We've been here all day. We've been interviewing the performers, artists, creatives here at this festival, and we're excited with our next group. They just got off stage. I was out there dancing and jamming to the songs. I'm cool. I hope you're cool, and I hope I ain't stepping on your shoes. And I think I may need a smoke. I'm not sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dean Beans and the faculty. So just introduce yourself and how you connected with the festival.
How we connect? Well, I'm Dean Beans. I connected with the festival via Mirage. I seen her post about it, and I hit her up. I've known her for a long time, so boom, connect. Dot. We here.
I'm Boogie. I connected the festival through Dean, who actually broke into the wrong house one time trying to come see me. When I made a Facebook post about diminished substitutes. That happens sometimes.
All right, and I am McKaye. Well, I'm connected to the festival, obviously, through Dean Beans, who has been a longtime collaborator. We're business partners. We're music partners. So that's my guy.
My name is Miguel. Also connected, also known as Raw Fingers for some reason. Raw Finger. Shadow Dougie. No, not at all. Not at all. No. We keep it wholesome. Here. Wholesome vibes only. What else? Earl Yakums. Special treat, yeah. Shadow Dougie. Many nicknames, but also connected through Dean Beans and Jahi, who is actually my cousin. And yeah, just working with Chris and Dean with their business, and yeah.
Oh, she had to leave. So you said, what is her name?
Gwen Nation. The voice of them all. Gwen Nation.
Well, I'm Chop Goddess Toy Marie. You guys, your energy is so right and so dope. So I'm so glad you guys are here at the Zo Festival. And you guys said you were connected through Mirage. You met her. Okay, so how long you been in the game? How long you been doing music?
You want to know the truth?
Yeah. Go ahead, tell your age.
I can't even do the math, but I've been making music since 90. No,
so
90.
Since 90. Okay.
The year. Yeah.
1990. What's your inspiration behind the music?
Real life. I mean, I know everybody say that, but I like to talk about the things that the average person don't speak about, but they think all the time. So that's what I want to talk about. If everybody else talking about it, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
So you connect with your audience through like a message.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what is there like a core message that you usually put out?
Core message? Ooh. Actually, my core, can I cuss?
Take the mic. Go ahead.
My core message is do exactly what the fuck you want to do before you die. Because you don't know when it's going to happen. And don't take shit from nobody. Boom.
All right. So I've been doing music since 2004. So not as long as him, but I write music based off of my failures, and I find that it makes me pretty good at making failures. So, but I play just about everything with this guy anytime he wants me to, anytime I want to, and glad to be here.
Right. So wait a minute. So I'm saying how long I've been doing music and what else am I doing?
And what inspires you?
Okay. So I've been almost 30 years doing music, a little bit longer. I picked up my first instrument when I was in the 3rd grade. I actually come from a musical family, so that's actually my inspiration. I have a sister that sings. My father is a well-known keyboardist. I got a grandfather that plays keyboard, multi-instrumentalist. Everybody in our family can hold a note. So music in itself is what inspires me, whether I'm listening to rap, rock, soul, country, house. Is just building off of those feelings and then going out and doing what we do. So, yeah.
My turn. Yeah, I've been playing music since I was a kid, but I didn't really pick up an instrument until I was about 12. Like Chris said, we came from a very musical family, so everybody very artistic family, I'll say. So everybody either picked up an instrument, or they sang, or they expressed their art through art or fashion, or just preaching as well. So family of entertainers, performers. I started out playing guitar. When I went to high school, I started playing percussion as well. That went into college as well. I was on the drum line for about 3 years. You didn't know that? Oh yeah, yeah. I played cymbals, snare, bass drum in marching band. Also played keys a little bit of bass. But yeah, as far as inspiration, like Chris said, just being around inspiring people, really, and that's all throughout our family and friends of our family as well. So yeah,
We've been lying to y'all. This is what it is. He's our designated twerk dancer. He's Gandhi of the group. This is the only person in the group with flavor. Gwen is the only person that has talent, and I supply water to everybody. That's who we are.
You sure can. He wants to twerk. Get it, get it, get it, get it. I don't know what it is, but get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. I throw a dollar. My life is fulfilled now that we got that. Okay, so who's somebody you guys wanna work with? Like top three people you guys want to work with? Local, big name, anything. Top three.
Top three.
Yeah.
Erica Badu. Nicole Buss. Erica Badu.
D'Angelo, George Clinton, Dean Beans.
But you already worked with them.
Have I though?
Have you? Let's see. My three people, I would Stevie Wonder for sure, Pharrell, and I will absolutely. There's a new artist, and I'm gonna go with a new artist. Her name is Jade Nova. So dope. I would love to work with her.
Ooh, this is tough. He stole my pick. I was gonna say Pharrell, number one. Okay, cool. The faculty. You guys are cousins. Pharrell. I would have to say this band from Texas called Krungben, a Thai funk group, amazing. Actually, the guitarist is like one of my main inspirations. Just an incredible guitarist. Number three, I don't know. The Internet. Not just because they're playing right now, but just the vibes are immaculate. Oh yes, love Napalm. We can stream us on Spotify under Dean Beans. You can follow us on Instagram, Dean Beans, Every Music, EVRY MUSIC. Yeah. That's all I got.
Well, it's all the same. So you can follow us at Every Music, EVRY Music. That's the whole squad. So our band, our TV shows, our podcast. Oh, okay. Well, my handle is A Musician's Mind. Instead of an S, it's a Z in the middle. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Yeah.
Back to me. Go back to me. My personal Instagram, AMG2, AMGTWO. I'm also on Twitter. Yeah, follow me.
So you can find Boogie Truce if you Google it, but I don't have a Instagram or anything else, so I go by the name of Ow. And you have to find me on Tape Deck at your local record store.
He is 100% vintage. You look anywhere for I Am Dean Beans with a Z, you found me. Except for the music stuff, just Dean Beans. That's it.
Okay. So this is a mental health awareness type of event and, prevention event. So speaking to people looking up to you guys, looking at this event, what is some words of encouragement that you would give to like the youth that want to be like you guys or that might be going through something, mental health issues that want to enter into the game?
Do not be like me. Do not. No, just be okay with your own path. Don't let society tell you that it's not enough or not right. If you feel good about it, fuck it.
I would have to say, when it hurts, lean into it. Feel the emotions that you're going to feel and feel the hurt, because that's what's going to make you the person that you're supposed to be.
I like that. I like that. Lean in. Yeah, I like that. I would say no matter what, always believe in yourself. Even when times are hard and things seem like they're not okay, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to get out of it. As long as you believe in yourself, everything will be all right.
I would say don't be afraid to rely on your community. Make sure you surround yourself with good people that you trust and you respect their opinion. We're not meant to go through this life alone. When you go through, when you're alone, it's easy to get stuck in your own head. Easy to get trapped in catastrophizing thoughts. One thing goes bad in another and another. Surround yourself with good people who will keep you grounded and you can trust their opinion. And yeah. That's yeah. Yes. Shit, can we cuss? Are we allowed to swear? We are. Frick.
Doggone it.
Darn it.
Hey, in my intro, I was just commending you guys, your performance, your energy. I'm curious, how did you guys all meet? How did you guys connect? Um, yeah. Yeah, so
here you go. Okay, so this is how it all happened. I seen a picture of him online, and he had these cool glasses on, and I was like, he's a cool guy. I started talking, and he said, I do music. It was a picture of him on Congo, so I said, let's do some music. So I went to his house. He said the door is open. I went in the house, and I said, this ain't his house. So I was in some stranger's house, ended up linking up. We made music, boom. Chris Jahi, excuse me. I don't remember where we met exactly, but he was at a concert that I did, and somehow through the pipeline we got cool, and then many names. He started working. He came to volunteer at the film studio, and then I found out he played guitar. I'm like, what the hell? And here we are. Yeah, me and Gwen, we've known each other for a long time. Oh, and Kyle, our drummer, who does he drum for? He drums for the Four Tops. One day I did a show. I used to build myself tracks. He walked up to me. He said, "I don't care if it's paying or not. I'm playing for you," and that's been my drummer ever since.
So I'm curious to also know, because I was really vibing to you guys' music and the sound. How would you guys define your sound, and what is your creative process in terms of, I don't know if it's a songwriter or people write instrumentals first, or how does that go, or the vocalist? How does that work for you guys?
I'm answering everything.
Yeah.
So it's really a collaborative effort. There's really no method to our madness. Sometimes he'll have a drum track, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And I'll play something. We'll just be sitting around, and I'll play something, and he'll say, keep playing it. Or we'll just in a room together, and yeah, somebody may have something they were already working on, and we'll just enhance on it. So we do everything. There's no one set way. Whenever the vibe feels right, we just continue to go with it.
I will say this. One of the best ways that we make music is when we're supposed to be working on something else or recording something else, and then somebody just starts vibing on something, and then Dean just goes like, hold on, bet, do that again. And then like we're not even noticing he's already opened a new Pro Tools session. He's like, push.
I keep playing. I just start recording.
I mean, it's beautiful. Mostly because of Shadow Dougie.
All right. So I don't know. We touched on the mental health aspect of words of encouragement. Okay. So as we wrap things up, what's the best way people can get in touch with you guys, or your music, or your performances, or whatever?
Every Music, EVRY Music. All social medias, we always post the stuff on there. Like you can come to my page, but Every Music is for everything that we do. You want to book us? No, no, we don't have any shows, but yeah, we need to just throw them because waiting for people to put us on is like, yeah, exactly. So we bought all of the sound equipment so we can go and do stuff, because it's tired of waiting on people. Yeah. So yeah, put it together and we there. Booyah.
All right, so we definitely want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. Appreciate your energy, the positivity, the music. I'm cool, you cool, we cool. Yes, I love that song. And Don't Step on My Shoes. I love that song. I love that song. Both of those. So I thank you again. Once again, let's give it up for Dean Beans and the faculty. Ah! All right, thanks for being on the podcast.
Stupid, hold up, sleeping on this girl, I got no shit. I just wanna catch your girl when she really for the streets. I don't man become your world, still don't got a ring. So they looking for the bling, so they looking for the bling. Hold up. Shoot.
Hey everyone, this is Charles, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm here with my special co-host. That's Toy Marie. We've been here all day. Yes, we've been here all day at the ZoFine Music Festival. They're featuring or focusing on mental health, and I hope you're doing good. You're taking care of yourself. So we're here. We're excited because we've been invited to showcase all the artists and performers and curators who are involved in this great festival. And to my left, I'm excited to introduce. She had a great performance, throwing down those lyrics. I mean, just like wonderful lyrics, inspiring. So let's give it up for Al Exists. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, who you're with, what's your journey into the music you do now, and how you are tied into the ZoFine Festival.
Uh, so I'm a alternative soul artist from Detroit, Michigan. I've been doing music professionally since I was 16, and I started with this duo group called New Soul, and we had a couple hits. And I decided I wanted to start producing on my own. So I got down and I went on my iPad. People think you got to buy something or have special equipment, but we got thousands of dollars in our phones and in our iPads. And so a friend actually lent me a iPad, and then I just started creating from there. And so now I have an EP out. I released one in 2020, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I performed new music tonight. I grew up. My dad was a rapper, and so I started. No, you don't know him. He was from Columbus, Ohio, and so it was like for his hood type deal. And yeah, so I kind of followed after him. I started writing poetry, and after that, I started singing and rapping, and any way I could get my thoughts out. So yeah, that's kind of how I started.
So I am Chop Goddess Toy Marie, and I thank you so much for your amazing performance, for giving back to the community. You don't know how much you're going to touch someone just by your words, by your music. So when it comes to your influences, what's something that influenced you, or is there a message in your music?
Yeah, that's definitely a message. I start with the influences. Influenced by women in hip hop, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, MC Light. Um, Influenced by hip hop in general because I was raised in it. Outkast, and then Lauryn Hill. influence. My mother, back in the day, you had to burn your CDs and stuff. My mother burned CDs, so Angie Stone, Marvin Gaye are some of my biggest musical. Like as far as chords go, as far as production goes, those are my biggest influences. But I'm sorry, I forgot your second one.
In the message, is there a message?
Yes, a message. Yeah, I definitely I speak to my desire is to speak to the people who feel unseen, who feel unheard, and so I like to speak from a vulnerable place. I don't put on the front for my lyrics. I don't feel like that's necessary, and so I not only do I want the lyrics to touch somebody, but I want the music, the notation, because there's sounds, there's frequencies, there's vibes and music that it sends out messages without even saying anything. And so, yeah, the message is keep living.
And so you say you are a Detroiter. So we just had like this thing going. We want to know, are you West Side or East Side?
West Side all day. West Side all day. West Side all day. Big Bun Lauder, baby. That's crazy. That's great. A lot of these people are from. A lot of them actually from the East Side though. You gonna find them. You gonna find them. I know my boy Nappy who's performing right now. He from the East Side. Precious Media. She from the East Side. Um, she's this. Everybody saying West Side. It's West Side over here. West Side run. West Side runners.
So we really appreciate you being on this podcast. So I'm curious. You shared a little about your background, and I was listening to your performance. You have very thoughtful lyrics, and just the sound of the band. Do you normally perform with that band that was there? Because you guys seem like had like a more of an R&B sound as well. So how would you describe your music?
Yeah. So this actually is my band. This is Squad, and so Squad, a part of Squad for ZoFine in the Live in Room, which hosting ZoFine Festival. It's just everybody. We came together. I met these guys in 2020, and been inseparable since. They have jam sessions on Monday, and I would show up to every jam session, and yeah, we just bonded, really quick. And so a lot of talented individuals. But I have my own band that I perform with, and so I do. What I call my music is alternative soul, and so what I do is I mix hip hop, soul, funk music, all the stuff that I was brought up into, and I kind of just make it into one. I like really balancing sounds, so I like masking like rough and pretty is what I like to call. Yeah, it's like the release of sound. So yeah, I'm all about the balance of sounds, rough and pretty, hip hop and soulful, because I feel like that's what Black people release, and so I feel like that's what I have, to bring.
Now we have asked this a few times about the creative processes, but with you, you're somebody that's so eccentric, and you have a way about yourself where you're put together. You have this rhythm, this difference that's about you that's very very eccentric. That's very different. That's very earthy and peaceful. And so when it comes to your creative process, what do you do? Like, are you someone that can hear a sound and then you create that way? Are you somebody that, you have to write it first and then you have to go with the beat to match it? Like, what's your creative process when you're creating?
You know, I've always been a people person and a people observer. I feel like people inspire me. I'm the youngest in the family, so I'm spoiled, and yeah, I get to watch people and observe how people move, and I feel like people release their own, right? We all have our own energy, like you said. Like we all have our own presence that we bring into the world, and so when I'm creating, I think about myself. I think about my loved ones. I think about the space that I'm creating in, and most of the time when I'm creating, like I started with poetry. So I used to start with lyrics first, and just like I would write a poem, and then I would kind of vibe off of that poem and try to break it down into verse lyrics or whatever. But now I'm always hearing melodies and rhythm. Rhythm is always playing in my head all the time. So I always start. I feel like the entirety of a track is in his drums and in his bass. And so I always start at the bottom. And so I hear the rhythm first, and then I lay the keys, and then I start mixing for the production, and then a melody comes. So I start, singing a melody, and then I add lyrics over the melody. So it's a whole process. Yeah, lyrics come last. Lyrics come last as of like the last 5 years or so. Yeah, now it's just like it's about sound, it's about rhythm because that's what we feel first. So yeah.
Now, where do you see yourself? Like, where do you? Is there an arena that you aspire to be in? Like, where do you want to take this? Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years?
5 years. You know, I can answer this question in a lot of ways. I feel it's best to always move in silence. But I will say music is my first love. And for me, it's my essential launching pad to get out what I actually desire. And so always stepping stones, and so yeah, I want to be a recording and touring artist, and I love to write. I'm a songwriter first. I love to write. I love to produce. And so something I definitely want to get more into is collabing. So if you hear me and you want to collab, please do. Reach out. Yeah, I love songwriting. I love producing. So I want to songwrite and produce for other artists. Yeah.
Who is someone you can see yourself writing for? Like, what two artists do you want to write for?
I don't know if y'all know this artist. Her name is Cleo Soul. I feel like yeah, it's Cleo Soul. She used to be in this group called SAULT, SAULT. And she just released an album, I think, this year. It's so good. Yeah, that's one of my faves. Another person, I really would love to get in the studio with Tierra Whack. Tierra Whack is awesome. Yeah, those are two people.
So you shared about your creative process, how you're a lyricist, you write your background is in poetry writing and stuff like that. So what direction do you want to go? What do you see yourself moving towards in your creation? What do you hope to accomplish with your new release?
Right now I'm prepping for an album. And so I've been working on that, and it shall be, amen. So I've been prepping for that. In the meantime, though, because albums take a different process than like releasing a shorter project. I plan on releasing some of the music I performed tonight, and I'm calling them journal entries. Um, and so what I'm doing is I want to be more personal in my music because I found that that's very effective, and so I'm starting there, and I just want to build off my sound. I have my own sound. I want to build that. I want to make that a staple, pretty much. And so that's kind of what I'm planning on doing.
Okay. So you stick out like a thorn. So especially your name. I thought that was so powerful when you told me your name. And so where did you come up for that? Where did you come up with your name? Is there a meaning with
So all right, so I told y'all. So my name is Alexis, right? And it's a funny story how this name came about. So like I said, I grew up with my dad rapping. My uncle rapped. My older cousin rapped, who's basically my uncle. And I heard them working on a song, and I came into the session, and I sung a hook melody, and I was like, I think this is your hook. And they were just like, "Whoa, what is happening?" They were like, "That's like they because they was stumped on the song for like hours. They didn't know what to write." And so it kind of started there, and they was just like immediately brainstorming, like, "What's your name gonna be? What's your name gonna be?" And then my uncle was like, "I'll exist." And he was like, "Nah, nah, nah." He's like, "That's too masculine." And I remembered that name. It stood with me, and I was like, I'm someone once again who like to balance, and I feel like the way that I dress, the way that I feel, I balance feminine and masculine, and just like I balance my sound. And I was like, I don't feel like that's masculine at all. I'm like, I feel like that's a statement. And so I took that as someone who has had trouble with her mental health myself. as who's had suicidal thoughts, and overcome depression and still have anxiety. All exists is a statement. It's a statement of being. It's a statement of showing up. It's a statement of being present, no matter where you are. And so that's who I am. That's who I show up as, and that's what I encourage people to do.
I like how you was you open up a little about your history with depression and being that we are at a festival that talks about mental health awareness. What can you say to encourage who may be watching, who may be facing mental health challenges? What can you tell them how to cope with that and maybe even share your journey with that?
Yeah. You know, life is strange, but a saying that has grown on me is all is temporal. Nothing lasts forever. Whether you super happy, whether you super sad, nothing lasts forever. So all is temporal, and know that you are loved. Know that you were made for a purpose, and know that whatever you're going through, you're not alone in it. There's others. There's always others. I think a lot of our time and we struggle with mental health. We think we're the only one going through it, and I think the most beautiful thing about humans is that though we are uniquely made, are a lot of the things that we go through are not unique in itself. Nothing's new under the sun. And so somebody's overcome, and you can too. And so yeah, I would just say that all is temporal, and this too shall pass. So yeah.
Tell them where they can find you. What platforms are you on that they can stream your music, and what's your handle?
Yeah. My handles, follow me on Instagram at AL_EXIST. Um, and also find all my music streaming anywhere you listen to music. All platforms. That's YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Even if it's, I don't know, illegal or whatever, it's there. That's All Exist. That's AL_EXIST. Follow my journey. Please follow me on Instagram. That's where most of my audience is at. And I always post in there. And right now we're building up the brand. We're building it up, and so right now, speaking of mental health, I'm taking a break for September. I showed up because I love Mirage Virtuoso, the owner of this festival. Um, and I'm taking a break. I gig 3 to 4 times a week. And so I'm tired. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? So I showed up today, but I will be back October, gigging again. I'm always at Willis Show Bar of Unicity. Um, yeah, Duos Restaurant and Lounge. Yeah. So yeah, we be in the city. Yes, I do. Yeah. We be there every second and fourth Saturdays. So yes. Yeah. So I'll be there, but you won't catch me in September. Y'all gonna catch me in the crib.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I want to encourage all those who will be watching to support Alexis. Check her out on Instagram. She's taking a break in September, but in October, check her out. Follow her on all social media at Alexis. Check out her music. She had a great performance. I like her style, her swag, her lyrical ability, the singing. Even the band that was with her company was great. A nice sound. So definitely check that out. And thanks again for being on the show. I wish you much success. Yes. All right, let's give it up for Al Exist, y'all.